there's another thing. Oh my gosh, so I guess I might have been talking to myself this whole time. I don't know. Is anybody there? Can anybody pick this one up? Let's see. Videos. All right, live feed. It started another one, and now this one says live, and now am I on it? I am on it now. Okay, all right, cool. So I'm completely inept at doing scheduled events, but I can set this up somehow to then be live later. Okay, well, let's see if anybody finds me again. I guess I'm going to take this link, and then I'm going to go run over here. So I was just talking to myself, I guess, thinking I was doing a live feed about all the things that were going on this week. So last weekend, I was celebrating Doc Watson's 100th birthday at Merlefest, which is awesome. And oh gosh, there is people in here now. Awesome. Thank y'all for waiting. I'm sorry, I'm completely inept at doing this upcoming event thing, but I guess I can do the create a new event thing. Okay, so I'm putting a little community feed so people can find it. So I was celebrating Doc Watson's 100th birthday last weekend with my dad and my daughter, and we had a great time. We saw Tommy Prine. Oh, it was so good. Oh, thank y'all for waiting. Sorry. Oh gosh, now there's a bunch of people watching me. Awesome. I've just spent the last like 5 minutes talking to myself. So thanks for hanging out, y'all. I got no idea how to do this stuff, but it sort of almost worked out, didn't it? So I'm going to go and run over here to the other channels just to try and let people know that it's going on over here. Thank y'all so much for waiting. I'm here to answer your questions about life, the universe, everything. And the answer doesn't necessarily have to be 42. In music, we don't use 0. It's always cool. So, oh gosh, I got to go over here, and then I go channels, and then I go over to Munson covers, and I go, I botched this thing and don't know what I'm doing. All right, community, da-da-da, is the live feed. Awesome. And then I go post. All right, cool. So I'm just trying to send people links and stuff. So does anybody have any questions today? So last time, when last we left off on our crazy, awesome adventure, like on Munson Music Live, we were talking about these wonderful things called Things I Wished When I Was a Beginner, which was cool. Actually, it was a really cool thread, and people asked for some really advanced, awesome, crazy stuff. And like I said, this is kind of jumpy answers, so maybe I should finish talking about what my week was like. But we had a great open mic night at the shop this week. On Thursday, we had some new people, Deborah and Carolina, come and play with some people who played before. Malcolm and Darius. Well, Darius didn't. Well, yeah, Darius played. Darren played. April played. Malcolm played. Audrey played. Oh, Audrey played. And she did Ode to Joy on her violin, and then she sang Count on Me with her sister Lydia. There was some really touching, cool music, and it's up on Munson Covers if you want to go see that. And the open jam from Friday, Cinco de Mayo, will be going up there too. That was a lot of fun too. So first Thursday, first Friday, if you guys are ever around Newberry, South Carolina, you're welcome to come by and play with us. Oh, thank you for calling me a cool YouTuber. I sure did try. I feel like I'm completely inept at this stuff at this point. Whatever it is that YouTube wants me to do at this point, I'm completely baffled and have no idea how to do it anymore. But I do know how to do what I do, so I keep on doing that because I think it's the most useful thing. Because if all the other YouTubers who teach guitar are doing their job, then you would know how to play guitar, and then or ukulele or banjo or or just make music in general. And so I feel like what I post is, really useful because then you can play and jam and do whatever you're going to do with the song and get used to like what the form is. So thank you so much, Sergio. It's great to see you. Renee, it's great to see you. Tom, it's great to see you. Victor, it's great to see you. Thank you and good morning. So we had a great time playing some music. Open white night this week, open jam this week. Yesterday we had a game night. And I was playing some games with some friends, and oh gosh, man, this store is just a wonderful thing. So, all right, there's Renee with a question. What beginner tips would you offer for bar chords? All right, so bar chords, and this really applies to every instrument, and hopefully I'm pretty close to being in tune. So the first thing I would do, actually, and we were talking about this a little bit in the last live feed, I feel like that's always like the introduction to intermediate, playing is bar chords. Because if you master bar chords, all of a sudden it's like, I can play every single chord in the whole universe. So one thing you could do, without your instrument at all for bar chords, Renee, is you could take your index finger and keep it really, really flat, almost like you're trying to shoot a gun, because that's what you have to do in the bar chord or the scenario, You could also like take your other finger, like second finger, and then if you run it over the top of it, you end up doing this thing. It almost looks like the finger puppet thing, where you're like doing like the little doggy thing. You know, it's like, oh man, the shadow puppets thing. I've called this finger yoga before, where you kind of just like try and keep the first finger really, really flat, and then run it, and then you can kind of like do that anywhere, which is cool because that's kind of the position you want to do in the bars. Keep this guy really, really flat, but these guys got to curve somehow. You could do the same thing with 1 and 2 down, and move 3 over. All right, cool. Woo, awesome. And then you can do the same thing with kind of keeping 1, 2, and 3, and then do the pinky. I know that's silly, but sometimes it's nice, like just away from the instrument. Sometimes you get on the instrument and it's like, I mean, I'm so stressed about this particular element of playing, you know. So if you can do this just every time you've got free time everywhere. Oh gosh, and then Sergio says, you certainly do a good job at validating bass levels. Man, I try. I sure do try, man. And actually, I feel like the thing about bass levels there, man, we can talk about this later. It's just because I'm playing one thing doesn't mean you can't play something more advanced. Aha. Yeah, food for thought. You know, but I'm demonstrating beginner stuff normally. Because that's my jam, man. I want everybody to be playing. So continuing your question there, Renee. So that would be one thing. I know that's silly. Finger yoga is good because you can do it as an exercise. The other thing is like when you're doing the bar. All right. I feel like most people jump into the bar chord as an F chord. It was the second chord somebody tried to teach me randomly on the guitar. Was my first song was Leaving on a Jet Plane, but my uncle was showing me in the key of C. So I had the C chord, and then I had this F chord, but he was like, but the only way to play F is as a bar chord. So you take the first finger, you put it down over all the strings on the first fret. Well, the first fret is the hardest place to do a bar from a physics point of view because of the pressure that you have from like the nut to the first fret as opposed to the nut way up here. So if it's another tip, getting used to bar chords would be like trying to go up way up the neck. Like normally, I really like using Before You Accuse Me as a song to introduce bar chords on the guitar. It's a blues thing, if you don't know the song. There's like E-licks and A-licks. There's a great how to play tutorial by this guy named Munson on it that teaches you the wrong form, but goes over the licks in a really, really cool way. So you can check that out randomly. But when you get to the bar chords in there, it's a B7 on 7th fret. So that could be a good spot to take your first finger, do it across the whole 7th fret. Then this is kind of crazy. Woo! Oh yeah, oh great, Renee, cool. And of course I was going to continue that thread. So first thing I would do is finger yoga. Second thing you could do is you could even try just like one finger across randomly. And actually if you did this on 7th fret, it would be a B minor 7 or B minor 11. I'm sorry, like the E minor 11 is all the open strings. Just if you don't want to play E minor and you're on an E minor chord, you can play a really cool jazzy one, which is all the open strings and not put anything in. But if you took the index finger and kind of put it across the whole 7th fret, that might kind of help too if you do each individual string. That could kind of help, just kind of like seeing if you've got something kind of muddy. The closer you stay like in line with the fret, and I'm trying to like see what I'm showing you to kind of like show it a little bit better. But the closer you stay right in that groove of the fret, the better sound you're going to get. Lighter strings can help. Doing this on electric can help because that's lighter strings also. Something else you can try is the knuckle joint that you have on your finger, right? Tip, middle joint, knuckle joint has more mass than all the other joints. So if you're doing a bar chord thing and you take the index finger and try and get like your knuckle, I know this is going to feel weird for some of y'all. But if you get more of the knuckle joint somehow, like while you're trying to keep it flat, sometimes that can kind of help. I know for me, I used to get the strings in the grooves between the joints, and it'd be like, man, that sounds awful. So like moving your index finger up and down somehow, trying to find like a better place for it can be cool too. All right, and I see more questions. I'm going to write them down because this is the crazy Jumpy Q&A live thing that I'm going to try on first Sundays for a while. At least in June we're going to try that too. Lighter strings indeed, yes. How essentially, oh gosh, I feel like I've missed a whole bunch of stuff. But the rest of the B7 chord, you do that bar. The other thing is you don't necessarily have to put your thumb right behind the index finger. You can put it to the side. This is a classical guitar thing. And then if you split, or like kind of like put the pressure on by twisting the wrist. I don't know how easy that is to see. But instead of like, I gotta try hard, like you can kind of put the thumb offset and then like twist the wrist for the pressure. It's like something called a hinge bar from classical guitar, but that can help too, as far as putting the pressure on. The rest of the B7 chord, for those of you watching for the first time going, what's he talking about with bar chords? You put the second finger on the G string on the 8th fret, third finger on the A string 9th fret, and that's your movable B7 shape. And before you accuse me, and I've got that how to play that'll walk you through that whole thing actually. That's good, awesome. You got B7 there on 7th fret, you got 5th fret there. Woo! Awesome. And I feel like I should be putting my glasses on to read all your comments, but you can move this shape around anywhere, and whatever note you're playing on the E string, that's what chord you'd be playing. So like this is B7 on 7th fret, 5th fret's A7, because that's an A note on the low E string. Did I say too much? I feel like I pulled a Michael Stipe and I said too much. I set it up. But so main tips to review would be, you can do this crazy thing anywhere. You can play around with knuckle thing. You can also do what I'm doing, which is use a strap. If you get a higher head angle, sometimes that'll get you in a better position for a bar chord. Then you can do put the thumb to the side, right hinge bar as far as like pressure goes, and then you got a whole bunch of stuff moving around. You could also try moving it around like one fret at a time. Oh gosh, I completely missed that. Sometimes just moving it around fret to fret will kind of teach your hand like, oh yeah, I gotta go over there. All right, so, yeah, I feel like I'm way behind on people's questions, and I was so good about this last time. All right, so I'm going to go to my channel. I'm going to pull up the stuff over here, because we got a live feed going on right now, and I'm going to go, all right, you over there, shorts. No, I want to go to the live feed. How do I get to the live feed? Oh, gosh, that's being so confusing. Oh, I guess I got to switch back over here. All right, give me 1 second. I feel like this is a maintenance thing. I just don't want to miss anybody's question. This is me trying to be like ultra thing. Oh, my gosh, there it is. Ask questions. Da-da-da. Right, the live feed. All right, and I should do this also, because I know www.facebook, because we're like almost 15 minutes into this, and like somebody on Facebook might be going, the Facebook link doesn't work, because I just do everything on Facebook, and you guys probably know that. And if you don't, you should stop by Facebook and be my friend, because I like being my friend on Facebook, and then I want to try and catch up on questions so that I don't miss anybody's question. All right, which is awesome. So I'm going to go over here, we had this inbox news feed over here. I had events over here. And then I go over here, Q&A. All right, this is what's happening right now. And then just right here, I want to go over here, promote my event. I don't want to do that. Confirm. Yeah, whatever. Discussion, though. All right, so I go over here, and I'm going to go add a post. And I'm going to go, is the live feed today. Because I don't know how to set up upcoming events and then catch them on using whatever software I'm doing, obviously. But I do know how to start them, share to a page. I don't know about all that. I just wanted to like comment. Where's the thing? All right, I'm almost there, y'all. All right, cool. Is the live event botched? The catching the other link, all apologies. This happened last time. I should just be like, hey, y'all look out for like some weird new live feed every time I do this, right? All right, awesome. All right, so now that is done. I'm over here. I'm looking at comments, and I can scroll back on the computer thing. Awesome, perfect. I have a pen. I have a notebook. All right, so bar chord tips for Renee. We kind of covered that. Hopefully that was really helpful, Renee, I hope. And I also have a video called Left Hand Tips for the Left Hand. Which you could kind of check out too. And I guess when I mention videos like this, I should really go and try and find the link in real time, right? So like left hand tips Munson, because that covers a lot of what we just talked about too. There we go. Oh, and there's one where I went in and I superimposed close-ups of the left hand. All right, so now can I go over here? This is silly. I can put left hand tips. I didn't do this last time, but oh, that worked. All right, cool. So there's a link for the left hand tips. Yay! All right, we're all happy about that. I am anyway. All right, thanks Sergio for the good job, the bass level thing. And just because I'm playing one thing doesn't mean you can't play something else too. I feel like my videos, I like to jam with my videos and do a lot more advanced kind of stuff. I'm like, oh well, he's got it. I'm gonna go and play lead over the top of it or whatever. But oh my gosh, it's Renee. I love you, Renee. I'm so glad you found my live feed, even though you've been telling everybody to go to the other link. It's awesome. And hopefully there's something on the other link now, right, that says, hey, we're doing the live feed somewhere else. And I guess I could double check that, right? There's this over there. There's this live thing. There's this link that was gonna be the live feed, right? That says there's nothing recording. I'm gonna put a thing on this and says is the live feed, so that way if somebody finds the old link, woo hooty hoo. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like you guys know that already. I know some things. I don't know everything. All right, Mari says, hi, Munson. How essential on the... Oh, right. All right. How essential is learning scales, Mari says. All right, cool. And I'm going to pick it up from there with questions going forward, because I know you guys are giving me stuff right this second, too. So scales are useful, especially if you want to do, like, lead guitar stuff. If you just want to play chords and sing songs, probably not as useful. But everybody, I think, can use a little bit of background as far as like the do re mi fa sol la ti do, you know, like going over like scales. It can be good for like left hand warm up stuff. I think is useful. If you're doing bar chords, then chromatic scale can be really useful, knowing all the notes: F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, B. We went over that a little bit too. Kind of depends on what journey you're on, because I feel like some people are very rhythm motivated and want to just sing, and then some people are very, I want to play lead and be, you know, the next Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, you know, too, and that's, both of those are completely valid. Most people, if we were talking about musical intelligence in general, would be interested in either rhythm skills or tonal skills, and then tonal kind of breaks down into like, you know, harmony and melody, harmony being the chords, melody being like the tune. So I think scales are really useful. I love scales. They help me understand chord patterns, and then it helps me pick out tunes, because if I've got like a chord base, you know, as far as like it being essential, I don't think you have to know scales and, you know, a million scales to play guitar or anything. But having some general knowledge of that can be very, very useful. And if you're interested in scales, there is Pentatonic scale Munson. This is what I would start if you wanted to get like more into like lead soloing. Oh my gosh, look at this. I could give you a link for a pentatonic scale lesson that I did. Pentatonic scale lesson, which may also go over like chromatic scale stuff. Oh, so there's a link for you. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And so that way you could kind of go over like how to solo with a basic pentatonic pattern in any key. I feel like that can be fun, you know, especially if you want to, you can get more into like improv, you know, like kind of stuff, you know, and blues stuff especially. I think it's a good introductory for that. So I hope that helps. Like Maurice, that was a good question. So Sergio, talking from Baroque Brazilian guitar, okay. G sharp chord was impossible for years. You really have to retry for a long time. Well, yeah, a G sharp chord. You got a G sharp on the low E string on the 4th fret, people. G sharp major is like your F bar shape there. So yeah, I hear you on that. Yeah, doing bar chords in general, it can be like, lighter strings. Renee said, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, lighter strings definitely help. And that was on the bar chord question. Hi Munson, thank you. Oh, and then Addie. Oh, hey Addie, how's it going? Thank you for all your lessons. I was working on Wicked Game the other day. Oh, I love that song. The downstrum mute chuck you used on the 3rd downstrum was a challenge for me. Oh, right on. About chucking. I feel like that's an interesting term, because that's more like a ukulele kind of thing. Normally, chucking, another term for chucking, normally I would think is left hand muting, right? So like in that video, oh gosh, and now I want to pull up a chart. All right, give me a second. All right, so that's a good question, Annie. Hold on, let me give you a good answer on that. All right, so Wicked Game. Now there's 2 versions of that, because there's like the real key, right? Dun 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 dun. And actually, this is so silly. Oh, there is awesome. All right, cool. So yeah, B minor is like the real key, right? So the easy version would be the A minor and the G. Wanna fall in love. Oh, I wanna fall in love. So then I'd have to ask you, like, am I doing the chucking thing right now? Because that's the chuck, right? I'm actually kind of taking the right hand. I'm doing the down, right? And I'm killing it at the same time with my right hand. It's like a right hand mute thing while I'm doing a downstroke, right? So it's a down mute, which you could practice just by itself. And we could call that Chuck. We call it Maurice. Chuck's a cool name for it. But yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I'm doing down, down, up, down, it, right? Down, down, up, down, up, down. right? But you could replace some of the downs with the chuck down. Does that make sense? Oh gosh, Addy, does that make any sense at all? So what am I doing? I'm hoping that's close to what I'm doing, because really I've been doing this for a long time and I don't remember what I do in every video. And sometimes I just get the tune in my head and just start doing something. You know, it'd be like Marty music. You know how Marty teaches rhythms? He's like, it's like this. And you're like, can you write that down for me, sir? And like, he can't, obviously. All right, but so we got so what am I doing? Down, chuck, up, chuck, up. But the chuck is a mute. So check this out. All right, so if I was gonna write that down for you, you'd have down, down, up, down, up as a bass pattern, right? Island strumming is what most ukulele teachers would call this if we're talking about it from a ukulele point. But down, X, up, and then up, X, up. What you would do is you would replace the downs with X's, which are the chucks. So down, down, up, down, it becomes down, chuck, up, chuck, up. If you want to use chuck as like the term for the right hand mute. As far as how you do the chuck, if that's more like your question, is that, oh gosh, and you're back in, yes, okay, cool, awesome. Do chucky all the way down on the first 3 strings. You can do it on, I mean, it doesn't matter what strings you're doing. If you do the chuck right, like the main thing is you're taking the right hand, it's like side of it. On guitar, this is really misleading too, because they call this palm muting, and you're like, the palm is this, right? People read a palm. But the way you do palm muting on the guitar is you use the side of the right hand and you lay it down on top of the bridge. So so this is a good way to just get used to that. It's like if you put the right hand down right on the side, I've got like my pinky thing on top of the saddle-ish, and there's, let me zoom in here. Zoom in the laundry room. So here's my bridge, here's my saddle, here's kind of where I'm putting the right hand, right? And then what I'm doing, this is the right hand muting position. I know y'all are like, he's not using a pick, and that's cool. I use one if I have one in my hand. I'm faking it right now. I got my index finger like a pick, and I'm just kind of using that, and that's fine. I don't know where one is, honestly. So I'm taking this and then getting this sound where I'm muting the strings. Normally you'd want to be almost like right on top of the saddle. If you go too far over this way, it doesn't give you any tone. If you go too far this way, it opens up, right? So you want to be in this middle position where you can kind of hear the sound of the strings. And then once you find that, you can try and do a down strum and then try and almost make it like where this is hitting where you get that tone while you're doing the downstroke. I feel like that's the weird part, is like you want this to hit to mute it as soon as you're actually doing the down. So when you end up with that, you know, so that you can add in the chuck where you want it, if that makes sense. See, yeah, I get the palm muting, but I struggle with the consistent mutes. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, it's a weird thing. I mean, that's an advanced kind of thing, I think. But that's what I would practice. Yeah, does that make sense? Closer to the saddle helps. Oh yeah, close to the saddle helps. Almost on top of that. That was a good question. I feel like the muting thing is a really cool thing to have in your arsenal of tricks in general. So now I'm going to take it from that question and go forward, and everybody else is going to be like, what's going on? I'm trying to just make sure I don't skip any questions. So Renee says, I have a question. What are 2 pentatonic shapes for beginners? I like 1 pentatonic shape for beginners. I don't think you need, well, I mean, you could do 2. And my favorite pentatonic scale is an E minor pentatonic scale, Renee. So, and then the reason why is because it's all the open strings, right? So like pentatonic scale, penta means 5. And pentatonic scale actually from the Latin scala means to measure or ladder. So I always like that with chromatic scale, because like you're literally, if you're playing every single note, your fretboard kind of looks like a ladder. So pentatonic scale means you're playing 5 notes, and the 5 notes that I love to start with for beginners with pentatonic scale, although I will give you 2 patterns because that's what you asked me for. But the first pattern I would do is working with something I call pattern 1. Your pentatonic scale is all the open strings, E, A, D, G, B, E, for an E minor or a G major pentatonic scale. And what that means is if a song starts in G, we might call it in the key of G. If it starts with E minor, we might say it's in the key of E minor. And this scale works beautifully with those. It's basically you're taking like the two nasty notes of a G major scale and you're getting rid of them. So the two nasty notes in a G major scale are from the fourth scale degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 are from the 4 and the 7. If you play the 4 and the 7 together, it's a C and an F sharp note is what I'm actually playing. Sounds nasty. It's called a tritone. And it's that thing in music theory class where people are, oh yeah, back in the day when Palestrina was around, they called it the devil's interval, and they'd burn you at the stake for playing the tritone, which isn't true. But it's a cool thing to say. In all blues, you can't play blues without a tritone, because every 7 chord, dominant 7 chord, like G7, it's got a tritone. C7, got a tritone. E7, got a tritone. A7, you got a tritone. It's a nasty thing, and I love it. You got to love it. And if you know how to use dominants, you can throw them in my videos all over the place. That's for sure. But anyway, so pentatonic scale. All right. So if all the open strings are part of this E minor pentatonic scale, E, A, D, G, B, E, or G, A, B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the D, and wait, yeah, that's right. G, A, B, D, and E. Aha. All right. So my favorite pattern there is this. You start on the 12 on the E string, and then you go to 15 for an E and a G note, and then you go to the 12 on the A string, and then you do 14, and that's a B note, and then you do 12 on the D, and then that's a D note, and then you go to 14, and that's the E note, and then you go to 12 on the G string, that's a G note, and then you play 14, and that's the A, and you play the B on the B string, like 12th fret, and then you go to 15 for the D note, that's a D note, and 15, yeah, and then you go to 12, and then you go to 15. I feel like that's the easiest pattern for people to remember. Of all the open strings are part of it, all the 12s are part of it, because those are the same notes. E, A, D, G, B, E. And then you're adding in these other guys in front of it to play that G, A, B, D, and other places. I've talked too much about this. I just put up a link earlier about pentatonic scale too, so you can check that out, because I'm sure I go over this pattern there. But 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12, 15. My favorite pentatonic scale. And then I like to do hammer-ons with it, because these are like little words. The scale is like an alphabet. Actually, this kind of goes back to the question earlier about how essential are scales, right? Scales give you a alphabet to make up words, and then you can talk with them. And this is more related with melody, but it's also related to harmony, which is the chords. So anyway, 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12, 15. That would be my favorite pentatonic scale for beginners. And then what you would do, actually, whatever note you're playing on the E string, that's what minor pentatonic scale is. So instead of doing an E blues and having this scale, right? If I was doing an A blues instead, what I would do is go and find an A note on the E string, and then start the pattern from there. So it can be really useful to just move that one pattern around. And actually that has all 5 notes in it, so I don't know if you really need, that whole thing. Oh, tritone, oh, going to learn more. Oh yeah, tritones are nasty. Oh gosh. Hopefully I said enough, Renee. But you asked for 2 patterns. This one I call pattern 1, and I'm sure that's in that pentatonic link I just put up randomly, like in the thread. My second favorite pattern is pattern 5 of pentatonic scale, and I'm sure like in that video I walked through pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 3, pattern 4, pattern 5. There's 5 patterns because there's 5 notes of the scale. So it's pattern 1, same notes, different places. Pattern 2. There's also a good tab page for this. Oh gosh, I could do this. Hold on. Pattern 3, pattern 4. Let me see if I can pull up my Pinterest. If you haven't been to my Pinterest to download all my stuff, you should. You can make your own gig books. That way I feel like every week I get a call from somebody going, hey, do you sell books? And I don't, for copyright reasons. But you can download all this stuff on Pinterest. So if I go pentatonic on my Pinterest, what comes up? Oh my gosh, here you go. All right, cool. All right, so if you're interested in all the patterns I'm talking about really quickly right this second. Ooh, nice. Okay, cool. I'm going to throw this up. I'm going to go bams. Kerblams, because I think pattern 1 and pattern 5 are the easiest ones. Pentatonic patterns. All right, cool. There's a pentatonic pattern page. Awesome. If you guys want to go practice pentatonic patterns 1 through 5. All right. The other thing that I was just kind of mentioning is if you get that one pattern down, you can move it around to play lead in any key you want to. And I have 2 pages that I wrote out about that. So let me throw that also in the thread here. Oh gosh, oh, there, I'm over here. I go, pentatonic, moving, other keys, right? All right, and there's 2 pages to this one, because there's a lot of keys, right? There's 12 of them. Man, how come they got 12 keys, man? Because there's 12 notes. Oh, and I say that, there it is. There's the other page. And I don't know if this covers all the keys in the universe. If you find one I haven't found yet, let me know. Pentatonic, moving, page 2. All right, cool. All right, awesome. So there's 2 pages of pentatonic scale there. Awesome. Please keep these links. Actually, you could go there, right-click, save image as, print. And then you will have a physical copy, which is even better because the internet could die and you would still have your pentatonics to practice. Cool. So where are we in questions? Oh my gosh, that was Renee's question. Hopefully that helps. All right, keeping these links, please. Oh gosh, yeah, go practice them. And actually that video should go over them too. All right, then Justin, I'm going back a ways now, but Justin says, hello Munson, when playing mandolin, do we just follow along with guitar chords? You don't have to. Like, that's a really good question. Now, mandolin is a very melodic instrument. Mandolin is the bomb as far as, and mandolin is tuned just like violin. So most mandolin players, if you get into reading the notes, which if you're interested in that, I like the Hal Leonard mandolin book, you know, to look at the staff and this is where the E note is and this is the F and all that stuff. A lot of mandolin players, serious mandolin players, will get into reading violin charts. So, which is all melody stuff. So that's a really good question. So if you wanted like a goal, Justin, that would be really cool. But you can just follow the guitar chords. You know, as far as the guitar chords being a thing, chords are just chords. So just because you found a chord chart, I list all my chords as like guitar chords because I feel like more people play guitar. But a chord chart, you could play a chord chart on any instrument you want, as long as it's not a transposing instrument like clarinet or, you know, something where you would need to move the notes around to play. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it, because it's one of those things that, like, it's a convention in music we just keep on passing on for. It's just nobody's taking the step to go, you know, we need to do away with these B-flat instruments and everybody needs to play C instruments, and then that way we don't have to worry about this transposition thing anymore, you know. So it's just one of those weird things that just keeps, and it's not going to go away. I'll tell you right now, there's too much B-flat clarinets in the world for it to go away. But that's a really good question though. I really like on mandolin, and actually if you haven't seen the I always ask this, like, I'm like, hey, did you check out my mandolin crash course? Because I know in the mandolin crash course that I have, Justin, I cover the G major scale. And one thing you would normally be doing with mandolin, instead of just following chords, is you'd probably be following melodies, which is like what people would be singing. So whatever notes are getting sung, ooh, and let me do this. I'll go mandolin crash course, right? Cool. All right, so there's a link for the mandolin crash course. If you're a mandolin player and you haven't seen it, there's a bunch of cool stuff in there. It goes over parts of mandolin, warm-ups for the left hand, strum patterns for the right hand, chord shapes, how you move them around chromatically. Right on. No, that's cool. Absolutely, man. Checked it out, but usually play along with me. Absolutely. Because like a G chord on mandolin is the same notes as G chord on the guitar. Same things as G chord on a ukulele. Same thing as, you know, it's different shapes, but the notes involved are still G's, B's, and D's. It's just where you play those notes. And if you play like a violin, you could follow a chord chart by going, okay, well, G, I'm going to play a G note. So that, and I don't have my mandolin here because I'm in the laundry room at my house, and I've got my mandolin at the shop. But yeah, no problem, man. Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for watching. And like everybody who's here, I feel like there's a whole bunch of people I haven't been like, hey, thanks for coming in, because I'm trying to like follow the questions in order so I answer everybody's question. But the G major scale is the bomb in that crash course, Justin, like the G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G that I walk through on mandolin. And what you could do, especially if it's a tune that I have posted that says in G randomly, you can try and find the notes that you would actually sing for that on the mandolin. And that would be like the other thing. You could also check out, actually, let me put up another link here too, Justin, because if you're interested in doing more mandolin melody stuff, mandolin tab, and I don't know if you want to go there, you can just follow my chords and be fine, man. But if you want to get into more melody stuff, I do have like a lot of mandolin tabs posted. If I can find what I'm looking for here, I'll give you a link to go to all my mandolin tabs Where are they? Saved over here. Oh, you over there, you over there, you over there. Mandolin tabs. It says 62 pins. Now I have no idea what's in here. It's probably mostly hymns, you know, and popular traditional stuff. But mandolin tabs, mandolin tabs. All right, so here's another link you may want to check out, Justin, if you want to do more mandolin tab reading. There's a mandolin tab reading stuff like on Pinterest, and I have no idea what's there, but you know, oh man, there's a ton of stuff there, and you could get used to like playing those melodies like what would be what people would sing the notes, you know. So Amazing Grace, when I say melody, right, you know, but on mandolin, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that one's up there, you know, in some kind of capacity in G. All right, gosh, I'm so behind on questions, y'all, but I am pretty sure mandolin's different tuning. It does, but the notes that you're playing for a G chord are the same. Tammy Thomas, is this the B chord that you use in the Firebird tutorial or Freebird tutorial? B chord. All right, so Tammy's asking about the B chord in Freebird. The only B chord I can think of in Freebird would be the B flat chord in the outro. And yes, actually, this is the right shape. Actually, because I think this is going back to when we were talking about bar chords like 20 minutes ago. But the G chord bar would be 3rd fret bar, 2 on the G string, on the 4th fret, 3rd finger on the A, 5th, pinky on the D fifth. Would be a G major chord, but as a bar chord. And at the end of Freebird, the breakdown, you go from this shape on the G to a B flat chord, which the easiest way, or an easy way to do that, is to take this shape as a bar chord and go to 6th fret, which is cool. That's a B flat chord, like B with a little B on it. And then if you slide that over to 8th fret, that would be a C chord. So at the very, very end, there's this whole G chord, B flat chord on 6th fret, C on 8. And so yes, that is probably the shape I was showing, or A shape. I think I was doing the dominant 7. But anyway, this is the whole major chord. If you know the F bar major shape, right? It's like, oh man, F is a pain in the butt, you know, like when your guitar teacher says that. You do it like that, you know, and then you go over like, okay, well, let's try and keep the finger flat. Let's more knuckle joint, raise the head, all the stuff that you have to do. Because actually, 1st fret's really hard to do that. But anyway, I think that's what you're talking about, Tammy, and that's a good question. It is. Oh, Michael, stop! So I'm too far behind. True. Thanks, Addie. I love Michael Stipe. All right, so then Renee says, let's see, will you make any bar chord videos in the near future? Well, Renee, that's a really good question. Like, I was trying to send you that left-hand links because, like, the way I've been teaching the YouTube is, like, as if they were a student. So since I've done a lot of videos already on bar chords, like, it's not really, like, on my radar at this point. I feel like if you were a student and you started taking lessons with me 10 years ago, we would have already covered bar chords and we'd be playing like nasty, crazy things to reinforce them. And at this point, like we wouldn't need to talk about them anymore. So that's not really on my radar to do from here. But like I said, there's that left-hand tips video. I'm wondering if do I have just a bar chord video? Like Munson music, bar chords. Like, because you're asking about just bar chords for guitar, bar chords, how to play. I would think I do, but oh gosh, that's a really good question. Maybe that's something I didn't go over because I thought I'd already talked about it too, and that happens to me too. Oh, boo. But I think the main thing there is like knowing chromatic scale. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what though. Let me shoot you a page, because actually, if you were a student of mine and I was teaching you and we were talking about bar chords, there are 2 pages that we would be looking at all the time. And let me see if I can find it. It's oh, this is the one. This is the one page you need for bar chords. All right, 90% of all the chords you're gonna ever play are gonna be major or minor. Bar chord page. All right, and the thing you would need to know there, Renee, and like I said, that's not really on my radar to make a bar chord video, but here you go. Bar chords in 1 minute. Is you need chromatic scale, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and you can check out my link there, and you can follow me along with me in your book, and you'll know it's time to turn the page. There's no other page. When the chimes ring like this, ring. All right, but anyway, sorry, that was a Disney reference. But then I would practice that with the sharps on the E string. Practice them with flats: E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E, and we went over that a little bit in the other Q&A too. And then, for the bar chord part of it, you've got a major chord, is the F shape that I have on the page, where you would bar 1st fret, and then do like an E major shape in front of it. And because this note on the first fret on the low E is an F note, that makes this an F major chord. So E major is here, with the open E. You go to first fret, that's your F. And then if you go up the fretboard, whatever note you're playing on the E string, that's what major chord it is. F, F sharp major, G sharp major, A sharp major, D, C, C sharp major, D, D sharp major, E major. And then you might see them as flats depending on what time of day it is and what they had for lunch. E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, back to E. That's all your major chords you ever need on the guitar. And if you want to make them sad, then you use an E minor shape instead. And so then you'd be going F minor on first fret, F sharp minor, G minor, G sharp minor, A minor, A sharp minor, B minor, C minor, C sharp minor, D minor, D sharp minor, E minor, E minor, E flat minor, D minor, D flat minor, C minor, B minor, D flat minor, A minor, A flat minor, G minor, G flat minor, F, and then you're back to E minor. Woo. Man, that was it. So that's where I would start, because if you know that, then you're good. And then the other possibility is you could work off an A shape. If you know the A string, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Wait, yeah, that was right. A flat, G, G flat, F, E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A. Right? And then you'd be working off of A shapes. So then on that page that I just put the link for, the bar chord page, you'd be going first fret, and then you have that third. This is what I like to do, is I call it a double bar. The double bar. No, not the double bar shape. You know, you got the first finger, like over the whole first fret. Third finger's going to the D, G, and B strings. And what is it? A major shape, but you got moved over to first fret. And then now you're moving that around. So A sharp major. This is a major shape, right? Major, B major, C major, C sharp major, D sharp major, E, F, F sharp, G major, G sharp major, A major, A flat, G, G flat, F, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A. That's all your major chords. And if you want a minor chord from the A string, you use the A minor shape. It's so sad. It's so sad. Don't make me play these chords. I start. And then if you go to first fret, you got A sharp minor, B minor, C sharp minor, D sharp minor, E minor, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A minor, and then you bring down A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A minor. That was a lot to go over, but that's all the bar chords you probably need. And if you want something more fancy, that's cool. But yeah, hopefully that helps with the bar chord thing, and then we got the bar chord page. So that's awesome. Oh gosh. Not far away. Oh gosh, Athens, Georgia. Yeah, right on. Oh gosh, and I'm so far behind. I don't even know where we are anymore. Hey everybody who's here. It's so good to see you. I'm answering questions, but I'm way behind. I guess. Let's see. I am where I am. I am's what I am. It's just like Popeye. All right, over here, just see a Cherokee Langdon Peters. Oh, hey, from France. Oh, man, it's good to see you. Cool. Renee says, is it easier for you to put a big Q in front of a question? Nah, just keep them rolling. I want to read everything. Bon appetit, France. Oh, absolutely. Let's see. Oh, hello, friend. Oh, awesome. Oh, people have been talking while I was trying to answer questions. That's cool. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Let's see. Over here, Addie. Downstroke, mute, Chuck. Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, cool. So we covered Chuck tips. Right. Thanks so much. I will start practicing what you mentioned. Awesome. Cool. That's always good. And there really are tons of, like, you were asking about like new tutorials, but I feel like for the first 2 years I was doing YouTube stuff, it was all how to play tutorials. That the only thing I assume you know as far as guitar goes is open strings, and that's it. And then I was like, this would be really cool to just post chord charts and cover lessons. And then it was like, well, I need to cover stuff for mandolin and ukulele and barry uke and banjo and all this stuff. And so it was like, well, crash courses. And then so you got something to reference if I hit something weird in a cover lesson, and then I've just been doing cover lessons for the most part after that. There was a year of like crazy intermediate guitar stuff where it was like, oh yes, D, but you could play this, but you could play this, but you could do there's like every now and then you hit like one of these like intermediate guitar lessons like that's how to play. And then if you really want something ridiculously hard for the guitar that covers a lot of scale stuff, I mentioned this. There's a mastering guitar with Little Wing video that's ridiculous. My friend Thad Mays asked for this video, sort of, in a real weird way. Or he asked for a video to help this song. And then he gave me some money, and I was like, man, I need to make something ridiculous. So anyway, mastering guitar with Little Wing. So if you're really interested in theory in general, this lesson's crazy. But that one, mastering guitar with Little Wing, good luck. Yeah, I have no idea what I covered in that. It probably covers scales and chords and how they go together. Because that's what Jimi Hendrix does the best, is he takes guitars, scales, and chords and puts them together. So hopefully that would be a good way to go into that. So what else we got here? Dun dun dun. All right. He says Facebook live stream sends link to YouTube. All right, cool, awesome. Hopefully, well, I put some links over there. Thanks, Addie. Cool. So hopefully I've got a link there where if somebody's looking at it going, what's going on? Oh, there's the link. You know, hopefully people can find us. I'm hoping. Tommy Larry, 2 questions. All right, Tom's got 2 questions. Hold on. What chord, if there's a name with your fingers on the 1st fret on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings? That is a little F minor, sir. If you play just these 3 strings. Now, I use this as like an F minor. Now, we were just talking about bars. The whole F minor chord would be bar the whole 1st fret on the guitar. 3rd finger on the A, 3rd, pinky on the D, 3rd. Did I do that right? I did. Oh my gosh. So sad! Right, it's like a human capo with an E minor shape. And so because we're playing an F note on the low E string, that's the F minor chord. But whatever note you're playing on the E string, that's what chord it is. F minor, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, F, right? But you can take, if the bar chords are hard for you, this is like my go-to all the time, actually. If I've got a student and they're not really wanting to get into bar chords, they want something easy, is we'll do like a little mini bar. Like just what you're describing there, Tom. Like E, B, G, 1st fret, F minor, 2nd fret's a little F sharp minor if you're just aiming for those strings. Which is a great way to get into doing, you know, all the minor chords in the whole universe. You're just doing them as a little chord. So F minor is on 1st fret, F sharp minor would be 2nd fret, G minor would be 3rd fret, and then you could just like use that as like a little thing. So that's a really good question. If you miss on the F minor, the one you're actually asking about, and you hit the D string, then that's something called a D half diminished 7, which is a great substitute for an F minor chord. And it sounds awesome. Like, what would be a good example? I was just going over Walking After Midnight with an F minor chord, although there's an easy version of that up too, but Walking After Midnight, I stopped to see a weeping willow, F minor crying on his pillow. Oh, maybe he's crying for me. You guys need to, man, these birds are crying. We need to go outside at late at night and try and find a whippoorwill that's crying. And as the skies turn gloomy, night's wind whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. We've been talking for way too long to have not played any music, people. But, all right, ooh, what else we got? Renee, then the second question. Fingers on the 2nd fret on the 1st string and 2nd string. 1st fret, 3rd string. Oh, now that's a good question. I think, is that what you're describing, Tom? I know you asked this question, I'm sure, half an hour ago. He might not even be here anymore, but it's a good question. I'm going to answer the question anyway. You'll come back later. Our fingers on 2nd fret on the 1st string, 2nd string, 1st fret on the 3rd string. So I think I'm seeing that right. 2, 2, 1 in E, B, G tab. Is that a chord? Everything is a chord. It's just like trying to figure out what you call it, which is kind of bizarre. So this particular chord shape feels like a sus to me. And the reason why is because these 3 notes together very much resemble a D sus, which would be 2nd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the B, 3rd fret on the high E. Right? Yeah. So this is like a sus, which means suspended chord. There's actually like a classical reason why you would call something a suspension. Normally it's a note gets suspended from one chord into the next chord, which is weird. In this particular case, it's almost like you'd have oh gosh, what would be a good example? Like a G chord, for instance. That's a little teeny G chord. You don't have to understand this at all. And then all of a sudden, like the root changes, right, to like turn it into like a D chord. But there's a note that's being suspended from the G chord that then resolves somehow. That would be like a classical. That would be a 4/3 suspension in a classical tune. Is you'd have, right, something 4/3 resolves, right, the 4th over the, resolves to the 3rd. Anyway, don't worry about all that. But yeah, this thing 1, 2, 2 that you're asking about, I would call it a D flat sus, sir. So it's an A flat, a D flat, and then a G flat up on the top, and then it would normally resolve to like a D flat major, which would be kind of like a D shape but in the wrong place. So blah. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but yeah, that thing that you're describing is the second part of your question, Tom Lemery. Gosh, I hope I said I'm the worst pronouncer ever. Ed Sheeran. Wally. Let's see. Anyway, sport popsicle. I strive. Oh yeah. But hopefully that helps answer your question, Tom. That was a really good question, actually. Like the little thing for the minors is really good, and you can move that around with the bar chord shape. You don't have to do the whole shape to make the chord. You could take like three strings of it and make that like your new jam. You know, it's like, oh, there's D. There's D sharp major. There's E major. As long as you're playing those 3 strings, you can use that to play every bar chord ever. You can take shapes you already know and then start moving them around. Sometimes you can find some really cool solutions. You know, I've got like my student Scott Cunningham. Love you, Scott, wherever you are today. So there's the D. We use this all the time for like E flat major, like where you take the D and just move it over. If you see an E flat, it's like, oh, that's the easiest one out. You know, as opposed to like this double bar on 6th fret. You know, it's like, oh, this is so much easier just to think D shape over on 3/4/3. Anyway, so there's some easy outs normally, and I like to find them and try and help people with them because I'm all about helping people. That's why we're here today. Thank y'all for watching. Oh my gosh, it's like a classroom here. All right, what do we got here? I'm left-handed playing a right-handed guitar. Oh, that's cool. So Tom, like actually my most the student of mine that I think that makes the most money from guitar at this point is on tour with this band called 1,000 Horses, like Bill Satcher. He's like running around somewhere. He played the Newberry Opera House on Friday. He's a cool dude. And he is left-handed, but he plays guitar right-handed. And the reason why he plays guitar right-handed is because I was like, you should play guitar right-handed if you're left-handed. I don't know why they make left-handed guitars in the first place. Don't get me wrong. I've met a lot of really gifted left-handed guitar players, and I can understand like if it feels awkward. But here's my argument. They don't make left-handed pianos. Okay, just ponder that for a minute. And then the other thing is, if you're playing guitar right-handed, all your intricate stuff you do is in the left hand. Cool. If you're playing guitar, if you're left-handed and you play a right-handed guitar scenario, if you go to your friend's house and you're working on something on the guitar, you don't have to be like, you know, I'd show you what I'm working on, but we'd have to restring your guitar. You know, that's kind of a bummer too. And also, right-handed guitars, because they make more right-handed guitars, are cheaper. So that's my argument, randomly. So normally if somebody comes in and goes, I'm left-handed, I go, you should play right-handed. Like, why not? It's what you get used to, honestly. So absolutely, Tom, yeah, I'm with you, man. Be left-handed and play guitar right-handed. Like, I'm all about it. Now I've tried, I remember one week, though, for myself, I was like, man, I really want to re-experience what it's like to be a beginner, so I'm going to teach myself how to play guitar left-handed. And I remember it being awkward, you know, because it's not what I was used to. But my first guitar teacher in college, Jim Buckland, he's a left-handed guitar player who plays left-handed, but he is an alien and freaking super gifted, and he's Canadian. What's that about? But he'll like take the guitar and flip it the other way, and then play it right-handed, and then he'll flip it the other way and play left-handed, and then he'll flip it. He can do some crazy stuff. So if you're left-handed, you're just more talented than everybody else, and there's no reason why you can't play guitar like everybody else. That's what I would say. Oh gosh, and let's see. And I've got another question. I only have one ukulele, but I want to buy a guitar. It seems difficult for a beginner. What do you think? Oh, right, man, if you got a ukulele, ukulele's fun. I take a ukulele, I play ukulele and guitar. So the weird thing about ukulele to guitar or back and forth actually is like all your guitar chords are going to be called something different, but you're going to use a lot of similar shapes. So since I've been billing crash courses in general, like to answer questions today, like, don't you want to go and watch my ukulele crash course? Bams. And then also the guitar one. So maybe I should put links up here. I'll go get a uke crash course. So if you have a crazy question about uke, there's a link for the ukulele crash course, strum guitar crash course. Because I know most people, YouTube hides stuff too. They're so weird, man. YouTube is just a weird place. But sometimes I'll be looking for videos that I know exist because I uploaded them. And I can't find them because I guess I've reached my quota for the day. I'm not supposed to get any more views past a certain point. But anyway, strum guitar crash course. Or at least that's my theory, you know, because like otherwise you'd have some weird stuff. Like YouTube has to work like a pyramid scheme, and it's cool because like people would be really mad if they didn't make the money they made yesterday today or something close to it, you know. So I get that. I completely understand it. And the main thing is that they provide an opportunity for us to help each other. So that's cool. So Addie says, oh, chucking the first 3 strings. Okay, cool. So that was back on the chucking question. Oh gosh, how far am I behind? All right. Ooh, is it not painful? Okay, cool. So I provided links for that. Close to the saddle helps. Okay, cool. All right. Dayoon, oh my gosh, man. Hey, I'm sure you've been watching for like half an hour and I haven't had a chance to like say hey yet. But man, you're like one of my biggest fans. Like, thank you for tuning in. Dayoon found the thread. Awesome, cool, man. It's so good to see you. Oh, and then Renee was like being welcome. Oh, thank you for being my welcome. Talk to people while I'm trying to answer questions, Renee. Like that's Renee's great. Renee Lily's awesome. All right, so tritones are cool. C boxes, all the strings. G6 is a chord. All the open strings. Oh, you could call Renee kind of said, oh yeah. So I'm calling this E minor 6. If you play all the open strings, right? Ed, she ran away. Ed, she ran away. Oh, that's hilarious, Addie. But anyway, so, but yeah, I was calling this E minor 11 because the E is the lowest note. Your ear always references whatever chord you're listening to, normally to the lowest note. So I've ended up in some interesting, like, debatable chord scenarios where people want to argue with me about what I hear, because I pick out all these tunes that I post by ear, because I don't trust other people's charts. It's just a thing, because I'm a certain generation where we couldn't go to YouTube and listen to this stuff. You know, at this point, it's awesome to go and listen to the recording and go, well, how can I write it out? And you can write out charts a lot of different ways. So it's kind of like a debatable thing. Occasionally, I'll hit a chord that's debatable, and people will argue with me, hey, your chord's wrong on YouTube. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you think it is? And then they will literally describe exactly the same chord, but with a different bass note. You know, it's not E minor 11, it's a G6 chord. And you're like, well, yeah, okay, because if you're thinking of the G as the root, then G is the root, B is the third, D is the fifth, and then the A would actually be a 9, and then the E would be a 6. So that's cool. So you've got a G major chord right here, and then you're adding like a 9 and then a 6. Depending on if the bass player is playing a G note, you're going to hear it like a G6. But if the bass player is playing an E note, you're going to hear it like an E minor 11. And they're really the same chord. So anyway, sometimes people will argue with me to the point where they suddenly realize how stupid their argument is and how stupid it was to argue, and then they'll just delete the comment, and then it just becomes a total waste of time for me, you know, because I don't like arguing with people in the first place. I all this stuff's just for fun, y'all. It's just music. It's just for fun, and it's an art form and stuff. All right, but let's see. I think you're right. No, really. Oh gosh, then there was something going on here. Do you use a lot of strength to bounce the guitar string? Well, that's a good question. Like strength in a chord shape, strength on the fret. The main thing, if you're a beginner kind of starting out, get right behind the fret as much as you can, because it requires less effort. And if something's really, really hard to press down, maybe think about getting lighter strings, or if you're on an acoustic, maybe think about grabbing an electric and seeing what it feels like. You know, or having like somebody like do some work on your guitar. Like if there's this thing called action, which is how high the strings are above the neck of the guitar. And if they get way up, you're not going to be playing in tune anyway. And you probably need to just like, in a lot of cases, it's probably worth your time just to like save up the money to buy a better instrument. You know, if it's like, oh, my strings are way up here, you know, just buy something new, because like there's a lot of really good stuff out there for cheap. So anyway, but hopefully that answers that question. First of all, you should. Oh yeah. Oh great. Dayoon's answering questions for me too. This is great, y'all. Cool, because it just kind of becomes like a community thread. And we're all helping each other, and this is like perfect. This is like kind of been my week all week. You know, open mic night. It's like we're sharing music, open jams, sharing music. Keeping these links. Awesome. Hopefully the links are helping here. Pentatonic is mean guitar scale. What is it? Oh well, it's not a mean guitar scale. It is a guitar scale. Pentatonic is a guitar scale. It's actually just a scale on whatever instrument you're playing on. And what you do for a pentatonic scale, if you want a pentatonic thing from major, because I feel like most people would talk about major scales. Like your major would be 7 notes: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Pentatonic, you leave out 4 and 7. I guess we did talk about this earlier, but you go 1, 2, 3, and then you skip over 4, 5, 6, and that's your major pentatonic scale. So you'd have, instead of, if that makes sense, you just like leave out the 4 and the 7 of a major scale, and then instant major pentatonic scale. Justin, thank you very much. Oh, awesome, cool. I'm glad that helps, Justin. Cool. Usually play along with me. Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, man, we're all making music together. That's what's cool about this whole thing, is we can make music together. Jay Straw says, love your tutorials, watch them with headphones on. Oh yeah, man, awesome, cool. And then we can play along, and you can sing along, right? Guitar, G chord, ukulele chord. Exactly, perfect. Right on, I do. I'm like way back a ways, y'all, but I'm going to try and keep on going here. No, on a soprano, uke, yeah, the shapes will be different for chords between different instruments, but the notes are the same. You know, like a G chord on ukulele looks like a D chord on guitar, but a G chord on the guitar is still G, B, and D. Wow, that was way too much to say. All right, cool. Concert uke. Oh man, I love concert use. Oh gosh, is that owner? Ukraine is watching you. Oh, thank you, sir. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Ukraine's in everybody's thoughts, I think, a lot. Started on concert, moved to Barry. Yeah, absolutely. Higher four strings. Yep. Hi, mate. Oh my gosh. Hey, Kinzu. What's up, man? How's it going? I'm so far behind. Okay, cool. Looks like that helped Tammy too. Good to see you there. I find it annoying how chords on ukulele are not the same sound as on the guitar. I can't play the same song on ukulele as guitar since it's, oh, well, you can, Kinzu, like I said, like it's the same notes. So even though guitar has one shape and ukulele looks like this, actually ukulele tuning, if you guys want, are kind of, I mean, I reference everything to a guitar player since guitar is like one of my first string instruments. So the ukulele, if you want to play ukulele and you just have a guitar, this is stupid. Go buy a ukulele. You grab a capo and you put it on 5th fret on a guitar. And then if you break the low E string and the A string, that's ukulele. Cool. So like your D shape now is not a D, it's a G. So it does sound higher. And I hear you, like if you're really wanting, like, I've got to hear exactly the pitches that are in the song, I hear you. But man, I do it all the time there. I'm like, oh yeah, G chord on the guitar. I want to play a G chord on ukulele. So I'll be like up here doing this. Right? Like with the D shape on 5th, because that's a G chord, and then I would play this, and like, yes, they don't sound exactly the same, but it's the same 3 notes. They're just in a different place. So anyway, but yeah, man, just keep on working on it, because sometimes it seems different until you get used to like what the difference is, and then it's like, oh, I see it now. Okay, all right, that's cool. So let's see, and then let's see, if I buy a guitar for the first time, will it help if I play it while looking at an app called Simply Guitar? Oh, that's a good question. All right, so I normally don't watch other people's guitar lessons. I have, instead I try and go to you guys' request list and do stuff. And I don't normally play with guitar apps because I feel like I have other things to do and I can play real guitar. But I feel like if it helps you, I would go for it. Now, my daughter right now uses Simply Piano, and which is more individual notes, learning how to read the notes. And so I feel like if Simply Guitar is like Simply Piano, it's probably useful if you want to do note reading. But I don't know, so other people in this thread may know more about that particular app. I would say as many different things as you can find that help motivate you to put your hands on your instrument, go for it randomly. Because I feel like a lot of times you're asking questions as a beginner, especially like, am I doing it right? And I see videos like this all the time. You're doing it wrong. Don't play this song like this. You're playing Inner Sandman wrong. But it's like, you're playing the right notes. Just because you use a different fingering for it than James Hetfield, who cares? Like, you're playing the song right because you're playing the right notes. And if I could slap some people around for like how negative they are about some of this like play it right stuff, it's just like, man, if I'm playing the right notes, who are you to criticize me for it? And like, I'm not going to sit there and watch people play it to know if I'm playing it right, because it doesn't matter to me what fingers. Like, some people don't have 4 fingers, okay? So if you're not playing it the way the original artist played it because you have less fingers, that doesn't make what you're doing wrong, does it? You're playing the right notes. That's all that matters. There's only 2 rules in music. There's what sounds good and what sounds good. And that's it. So I don't know, I feel like some people come across that way. But if Simply Guitar motivates you to put your hand on the instrument, I would go for it. Absolutely. Books are good. YouTube videos are good. Anything you can find. And I feel like when you put your hand on your instrument enough, eventually you kind of get to a point where you're like, oh yeah, I really like doing it like this. It's like, it'll help you, just those dexterity skills too. And it puts sounds in your ear and all that stuff. So anyway, that's what I would have to say about apps like that, Simply Guitar. Let's see, I think YouTube is better. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously my videos are better than all the other apps in the whole because I'm not sitting there being negative. We're just like making music together. And that's how I learned music, was like playing with other people. So I feel like, I think there's a lot of stuff you can do with my videos, that may help too, but especially if you're getting into note reading, I can see like where an app like Simply Guitar could be really useful if that's what they do. But I haven't really used that app, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's see, anything else here? Let's see. Oh gosh, I'm trying to kind of catch up here. Oh gosh, I feel like, I skipped ahead something here. Oh wow. Oh gosh, I'm so far behind, people. I'm so sorry. What do we got here? I'm not supposed to say I'm sorry. Like my friend April's like, no, sorry. You're here to help, you know. So let's see, made progress using the D shape on the top 3 strings. Oh yeah, awesome. Tammy was talking about that. That's a really good video. If you didn't see it, Tammy asked about chord shapes on the top 3 strings. You know, major, minor, major, minor, and then major, and then minor. So if you haven't checked that out in the Q&A, I thought that was a really good question, Tammy. I think you helped a lot of people asking that question. And then great ways of explaining the bar chords. Awesome, thanks, Matt. Cool. Let's see. Tammy says, can you cover them so I can make the notations? Oh, let's see. Oh gosh, there's a question there. On top 3 strings, don't know how the names of the notes for the A shapes to write them down. Okay, so Tammy's asking about A major shapes. All right, so what you would end up doing, Tammy, is you take your A major. Would be, oh, I almost want to do them on these same 3 strings because I'm just used to them, but you're asking about top 3 strings. So the first A major shape, Tammy, would be, I'm going to call these out from the high E. How about that? Open, 2, 2, right? And then the next one would be 5, 5, 6 for an A major, right? And then the next one would be your D shape, would be way up on 9, 10, 9 as the D shape. And then your last one would be 12, 14, 14. So those are like little A major chords on the top 3 strings. It's 0, 2, 2, 5, 5, 6, and then 9, 10, 9, and then 12, 14, 14. Cool, would be your A major. If you were doing A minors, it would be 0, 1, 2, and then you have 5, 5, 5, and then you would have 8, 10, 9, and then you would have 12, 13, 14. Cool. So I could actually even do this real quick. I don't know if you guys can screenshot anything. I feel like this might actually help. I go A major, 0, 2, 2, because this is what I'd normally do for a student, you know, in the shop taking a lesson. Go, you practice these, you know, and then you like tab them out real quick. 12, 14, 14. This is an A. That's an A. That's an A. And then do A minor. 0, 1, 2, and then the root is here, the root is here, the root is here. I'm circling roots, people. I'm circling roots, and I'm going to show you what I'm drawing right now in a minute, right? A minor is 5, 5, 5, and then the next A minor is 8, 10, 9, and that's the root. And then the next A minor is 12, 13, 14. Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know if you can see this or not. This is normally what I would jot down. That's where the A majors were tabbed. And those circles are the roots of the chord. So A majors are A, C sharp, and E. Randomly. All right, jot them down. Write them down. I'm gonna get on the next question. All right, but then A minor is, all right, our flat 3 is A, C, E for the A minor. So anyway, if that kind of helps. But whatever note you're playing with that circle is what chord it is. So if you were doing a D major, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, 7, and 8, right? G sharp, A, way up there, 9, 10, 9. Same shape as a D, right? So it's like, oh yeah, hey, I could. So if you're playing along with my videos, and you see me doing this, and you're like, oh man, this is such a beginner video. you could go grab this 9, 10, 9A, and do little arpeggios like a little advanced guitar player. And it'll sound great because we're doing the same chord in a different place. So it's always weird, but it's very, very cool. Yeah, so hopefully that helps to see that, Tammy, if you're still around. I hope you're still around. All right, minor chord is too hard. Oh, well, all the chords are weird until you get used to them. And if a chord seems really difficult for you, you can always simplify to a major or a minor. Right? If it's a bar chord and you're like, ooh, minors are, you know, this bar chord thing is really, really hard. Try lighter strings, or we've got that video on left-hand tips that might help with that too. So, hey, Munson, I'm so glad. Oh, yay, Danielle, you found us live, even though I don't know how to set up upcoming events for whatever reason. I don't know why. I got my little tablet with that I'm using right now for this streaming, and it just won't pick up the thing. It didn't this time. It didn't last time. I just have to start a new thing, but that's cool. Let's see. Renee, I'm a little rusty on my music theory, but I am going to get back on board. Oh, I love music theory. Oh my gosh. Okay, awesome. The links to Pinterest today. Yeah, awesome. Cool. I feel like that was a good idea. I'm sorry I didn't do more links last time because I feel like that's really useful. I can go to the computer and throw a link in today. So, see, how many months on average does it take for a beginner to play Elvis Presley songs on the guitar? Well, it depends on what Elvis Presley song it is. But if you're playing like Heartbreak Hotel or oh gosh, man, there's so many good ones. All Shook Up. A lot of Elvis stuff is like 3 chords, and if you put a capo in the right place, you can make it work out as a really, really easy song, I think. The trickiest part, I think, with a lot of rockabilly stuff is it's so fast, right? So because you got a lot, the stops can be weird, yeah. My da 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 dee and da 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 da, but don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes the tempo will mess you up. So you can go and if you're watching a YouTube video of me even, and I'm going too fast for you, you can take that little gear wheel box in the corner for settings on a computer, and there's some way to do it on a phone. You hit it and it says play speed settings, and you go put it at 0.75 or 0.5, and then that can help you. I feel like going slower is where it's at. You may not like it. You're like, this is way too slow for me. I'm so much more talented than, But I when I play at half speed, sometimes in a recording, I will hear stuff that I would never hear at full speed, which is cool. It's like you completely hear it a different way. Oh my gosh, it's my wife poking her head in a live feed. Hey, how's it going? It's the beautiful exotic creature that lives in my house.
I just want to see what you were doing.
Oh, hey, I'm doing the live feed still. Hey. All right, everybody say, hey, Kara. Hey, Kara. All right, cool. So I'm trying to catch up on the questions. See, I love Elvis songs. I love Elvis songs, too. Do you do some improv? I love improvising all the time. This is actually one of my improvisations right this second. And then Renee Lilly, I cheat on G minor when I run into it. Oh, well, it's not cheating if you're like G minor, Renee, would be what, the 3-3-3 little mini bar thing we were talking about on 3rd fret. And if you miss and hit the D string, it's actually technically part of the chord too. So it's not really cheating to like scale a chord down for yourself. And actually, sometimes you'll end up with a really cool voicing nobody else uses by doing that. And you'll be like, oh, cool, awesome. I'm going to use that for D forever. I think the C chord. Right, one of my friends, Natalia, this week at the jam, she was doing D is like the C shape slid over to, like the D add 4 is what I call this. I always think of it as an Indigo Girls song chord because it shows up in Closer to Fun, but it's a beautiful D. C is there, D is there, and you're like, oh yeah, I like that voicing, I'll do that, yeah, that's cool. So let's see, we all cheat on stuff. Yeah, it's not cheating. Sometimes it's just doing what you can to make things work. May have just answered my question. What are the 3 top strings barred on the 5th? Oh, so first, 3 top strings barred on the 5th fret would be an A minor chord. Tammy? Yep, absolutely. Oh, yeah, and I just gave you the tab for that, so I know you asked that a while. What string determines its high E? So there's your A minor, A sharp minor, B minor, C minor. We were just, actually Renee was just mentioning that for the G minor on 3rd fret. F minor's first, F sharp minor, G minor, whatever note you're playing on the high E. What little minor chord that is. And we all love mini bars. I mean, come on, when you go to the hotel, there might be a little mini bar there for you. Let's see, Danielle, you're such a phenomenal teacher. So many things. Oh, well, thanks. I'm glad, man. Oh, thanks, Danielle. I'm here to help. Ed Sheeran. A lot of my early tutorials, I'd never heard anybody pronounce some of the names of the artists, and I would always be like, today we're gonna go with this song by da da da, and I would completely mispronounce their name. And so, like, you can go on a hunt, and people criticize me for it all the time. It's awesome. I'm like, how am I supposed to know? Like, back in the day, you just have an album cover. If you weren't hearing anybody say it on the radio or TV, how would you know how to pronounce their name? Like, how do I know it's Thielman and not Thielman? Or, you don't know. Who knows? And sometimes people don't know, until you ask the person, what do you want me to call you? Which is what we should all be doing. But he's not here to ask them. So, your personality and humor is so great. It's nice to learn from someone who can make others feel at ease. Oh, learning a musical instrument is so worth it. Oh, absolutely. No, we can all make music together. I feel like the coolest thing about music is you can kind of like leave all that weird real world stuff behind. Pardon me. You can just like let it go, let it go, let it go. Absolutely, everybody needs that at the end of the day. And if you practice at the end of the day, it's you might dream about practicing, which is like practicing without practicing, right? So everybody should go and practice, and then after that, think about practicing, and don't forget to practice. And you might want to eat something at some point, but then after that, you should think about practicing. But practicing just means play your guitar. But then if you practice at the end of the day, you might dream about practicing, which is like practicing without practicing. But then you should wake up and practice. But anyway, and practice with my videos, because like that's always more fun, right? It is a lot of fun. Tom, no worries about the pronunciation. You got the right. Oh man, right on. Okay, cool, awesome, great, Tom, cool. So man, thank you. Sorry about that. I'm so bad about that. And like yesterday, it was so funny too. I mispronounced one of my private students' names because I hadn't seen her in like 2 weeks. And I said, your name is this. And she was like, yeah. And then she thought about it and she was like, wait, that's not me. I was like, Michaela, how's it going? And she's like, Michaela, yeah, I'm a Leia. And it was like, oh, right, my bad, sorry. But anyway, so, oh yeah, absolutely, man. Be left-handed and play right-handed, because left-handed people are just more talented anyway. So what's easier to play, electric or acoustic? Definitely electric, because it's lighter strings. My friend Phil Watson, who played with the Drifters and was inducted into the Hall of Fame and is from Newberry, rest his soul, randomly, one night we were playing at Jezebel's for a jam, and he was like, hey, why don't we go back to the store and play the real guitars? And he meant the electric, you know, because like it's just easier to play electric because they're lighter strings. So Halo, oh hey Halo, how's it going? See, love your ukulele song tutorials. Awesome, cool. Hopefully the crash courses help a lot. I feel like threw up a lot of links for those, but there's one of those for each of the instruments I normally post like covers for, right? So then Renee, no, but be worth it. Oh yeah, absolutely, it's worth it, man. And then Jabari Ra. Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful name. Bro, your guitar playing is amazing. I've been watching for you. Man, thanks for watching, man. That's great. And then Renee said, I would never argue with the clear. Oh, well, I don't know. Theory is just theory. And sometimes you can just like end up, you know, arguing with people for no reason. YouTube is also like that. People are looking for a fight sometimes. And you're like, well, I'm sorry you're having a bad day. See, I misled you a little. I play right-handed guitar flipped. I was thinking the low E was the first string and the high E was the sixth string. Oh, so you do it this way, like Hendrix, Tom. Okay, cool. Yeah, same notes, different way, man. I guess if it works like with the mirror, that's cool. Man, guitar is one of those instruments. This is where I really have a bone to pick with people who put stuff on there. You're not playing it right on YouTube, because if it sounds good to you and you're getting the sound that you want, you know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for somebody to come in and say you're playing it wrong necessarily. I get it that, like, you know, occasionally I'll just miss a chord change, like, straight up. I just like, I'm sorry, I thought it was a minor, but it was a major, but I had that going on for, you know. Occasionally that happens. Sometimes I'll try and put a note on the video. Rare case, I'll reshoot the video if it's like somebody taught me that song wrong 20 years ago and I've been playing it wrong 20 years and I didn't check it with the recording or something like that. But yeah, man, I've seen so many people play guitar so many different ways successfully. If it's working for you, run with it, man. Like, really, like, it's absolutely. So, and it's cool to see like what people do, you know. I mean, I've seen people, you know, throw it down and play it like a dobro. I've seen people who have like just a nub for a finger, like do some crazy slide stuff. I've seen people like play it right-handed but flip left. Just anything, absolutely. You're not misleading me, man. Just whatever works is cool. There is no right way as long as you're getting the sound that you want as relaxed as possible. Action makes all the difference. It does, Addie, absolutely. And then Renee says, right on, 100. See, and then same sound ukulele. Hayden says, when will you cover any John Mayer? Oh, that's a good question. I have some John Mayer charts on Pinterest, and I don't know which ones show up here if I go John Mayer. This is always weird because when I'm searching Pinterest has the worst search engine ever, but that's probably helps me, you know, because people won't. Oh gosh, yeah, maybe that's the reason why nobody sued me for this yet. But cool. This is I see a bunch of John Mayer charts though, but that's a good question. I'll put that down as a request. John Mayer. Everybody else want John Mayer? I feel like I wrote down a bunch of stuff and I'm way behind on my paperwork already. But this is Wild Blue. John Mayer, right? Because I've got charts for stuff I just haven't posted, right? I mean, like thousands of charts I haven't posted. I see Gravity's up. Here's Gravity. And in Gravity, see, now some John Mayer just gets tricky, and that's the reason why. I'm more of a beginner teacher. So I'm looking at it going, why do we have to play this chord? This is a hard chord for beginners. Then that may be the reason why I haven't covered some John Mayer. But this is Gravity. It looks like, what else have I got here? If you're looking for some John Mayer, I got Wild Blue, I got Gravity, I got Distance. What else is here? Yeah. So there's a couple. That's a good question. I don't know if you have a favorite. Your best bet though is to pick a song to request instead of like an artist. Like people will ask me, "Hey, can you play all the Frank Zappa in the world?" And I'm like, "No." You've got a better chance of getting me to do a cover lesson for something if you ask for a specific song. But I love stuff like that too. All right, don't get me wrong. All right, when we cover John Mayer, it's awesome. Oh, Stanley, this is awesome teaching. Man, I'm here to help, man. Simply Guitar is how I started. Awesome app. All right, cool. Tammy says that's good too. See, I would think anything just to get your hands on the instrument's good. And then, you know, and it's motivating to have something like that you're following. I know my daughter really likes that with Simply Piano. Oh gosh, it jumped me down somehow. Doing it wrong, those in the album. Oh right, yeah, me too. Yeah, Renee's talking about people who say you're doing it wrong. What sounds good? Absolutely. Yep, that's a Burt Ligon quote. That's not really my line. That's my jazz theory professor. And yep. But ooh, okay. Somebody's voting for John Mayer. Cool. Oh gosh, did I catch up? Maybe I did catch up, or it jumped me ahead. All right, cool. Maybe I'm caught up almost. No. See, Dayun. No, sorry, you're here to help. Okay, cool. Seems difficult. Oh yeah. Sometimes things seem difficult, but if you keep on doing it, it gets easier. I'm a big fan of, like, if you write it really big and make it look like you're in elementary school, it makes it easier, you know. And so, you know, and this is just me taking a silly example, but you know, it's like sometimes it's really hard to see something like this maybe, but then if you're like, oh gosh, that looks so easy. I know that was a really bad example, but hey John, how's it going? Let's see. All right, and then Tom, let's see. So first question was chords, low E, A, D on the first fret. So the chords I was telling Tom are actually supposed to be the other way around. All right, wow. Okay, all right, whoa. I'm trying to remember like what the shapes were. All right, so Tom, I think I'm gonna try and follow that. Right. So my first question was the chords on low E, A, and D on the first fret. This is also, well, all right, so if you're playing first fret on the low E, oh, that was good, man, that's so weird that you asked that question. You meant low strings. All right, so when I'm talking about direction on the guitar, I know this is confusing, right? If I go this way, that's going high because the sound is getting higher. And if I'm going that way, like string-wise, that's going down because of the way it sounds. So I know that's confusing, right? Because I'm going higher relative to the ground, but I'm following the sound when I'm talking about direction. So going up is this, right? Going down is this. Even though technically, because of the angle of my guitar, I'm going up. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. So if I'm talking about direction on the guitar, I'm normally talking about pitch direction, right? So this is going down, and then this is going up. Okay, all right, cool. Just a reference, if I'm talking in the Q&A and you're like, what's he talking about? That's the high E and not the low E. This, sir, is the high E because of the way it sounds. This is the low E because of the way it sounds. All right, so I'm not criticizing anything. I'm just like, that's just where I'm at. All right, so anyway, so yeah, so if we're doing first fret on the E, first fret on the A, first fret on the D, this is like a sus thing. All right, so you'd be thinking of, and it's going to get a little bit of theory, but I guess we're here to talk theory, right? You're playing the root, and then you're playing the 4, and then you're playing the flat 7 of a chord, sir. So Tom, I know it's been a while. Hopefully you're still sticking around. So this is sort of what I would do relative to the scale. You're going root, 4, flat 7. All right. One way of thinking of this chord is as a suspension. Root 4 would be a sus chord. Flat 7 would make it a 7, but it doesn't have a third. So you would probably see this as like a F7 sus. All right, if you wanted a name for that chord, that's what I would call it. But like I said, sometimes chord names are debatable. But does that make sense, Tom? So like in whatever note you're playing on the low E, that's what sus, 7 sus it would be. So like this would be an F7 sus, F sharp 7 sus, G7 sus, G sharp 7 sus, A7 sus. If that makes sense. Like you don't have to have a fifth normally in a chord for it to hear it as the chord randomly. You know, like another way to play this would be like going root 5, root 4, 5, root. Oh wait, I want to get the 7 in there too though. Yeah, you. Okay, cool. Yeah, it'd be like almost like the Pinball Wizard chord, right? It'd be root 5, flat 7, 4, 5, root. But it's like a little piece of it. So this sort of implies that F7 sus. But I don't have a fifth. You may even see somebody write it as F7 sus, no fifth. But normally, like if you're playing the root, normally you hear the fifth, so people just don't worry about. I don't worry about the fifth when I'm writing it. So hopefully that answers that question. Second question was the low E A. All right, cool. E and A on the second fret, D on the first fret. Oh, I got you. Yeah, this is another way to play a major chord. Yeah, this is the other chord that Tom meant, and I misunderstood. All right, so if we're on let me draw that too, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's an E shape. is what you're describing, Tom. So like, it would be like the A string. Yeah, okay, cool. It would be a B major. This would be the 5th of the chord, and this would be the 3rd. So if you're playing just those 3 strings, all right, this is a weird way to play a B major. Actually, that's cool. Actually, you would just be, and with these diagrams, you wouldn't be playing these 3 strings. But the B note is the A string on the 2nd fret. This distance away is the 5th of the chord, and then this distance away is the 3rd. So it's like an E shape, but you're on the wrong strings, right? So this would be like a B major. And then if you go towards the floor one, that would be an E major. Randomly, if we were going to keep on going down, if you wanted to keep it a major thing, you'd end up with an A major shape. And then if you keep going down one, you'd end up with a D major shape. If you wanted everything to be major. B major, E major, A major is that party on the 2nd fret, D. Man, that's kind of cool, like just to take the E and then shift it. So yeah, if you're looking for an easy B as opposed to the double bar, that's a cool shape, Tom. Right on. So hopefully that, no. I apologize if I ever argue with you. I mean, I like arguments, don't get me wrong. Just some things are debatable, and like, sometimes it's like, why are we arguing about the same notes? That's where it gets weird. You know, you want to call it E major 6, and I want to call it C sharp minor with an E in the bass or something like that. We're describing the same chord a different way. Anyway, but you're forgiven if I need to apologize anyway to anyone, please. I'm sorry if I ever get weird in my comments. Sometimes I'm having a bad day too, but I overall, we're just here to have fun and share music. Heartbreak Hotel, oh, I love it too. And there's a bunch of Elvis up. I know Love Me Tender's up, Heartbreak Hotel's up. Oh gosh, I don't even know what all Elvis songs. I had an Elvis couple weeks there back in the day. Trying to remember which ones I posted. Munson music. I'm sure I have more charts for Elvis stuff than other. Looks like Suspicious Minds, Are You Lonesome Tonight, Wonder of You, Hound Dog, Always on My Mind, Blue Suede Shoes, Don't Be Cruel, Love Me Tender, Heartbreak Hotel. Do I have All Shook Up? Because that's one he actually wrote. All Shook Up. You know, a lot of Elvis, he didn't actually write it. Oh, I do. I have All Shook Up too. I just didn't find it immediately. So there's probably more Elvis than I know about. Actually, I know there's an Elvis playlist also. Ooh. That could be cool. I always forget that I try and set a playlist for some of the artists, and then I forget about them sometimes. So You Go This Way, your channel. Yes, I'm looking on my channel. I'm going to playlists over here. Unfortunately, I have over 100 created playlists. How easy is it going to be to find the Elvis one? And some of these have, you know, how to plays in them. Ariana Grande, Ed Sheeran, Luke Bryan, Jimmy Buffett. 5 Seconds of Summer, The Supremes, Tim McGraw, wow, Bruno Mars. Man, I've got too much stuff up here. I don't know how y'all find anything. I think that's the reason why YouTube starts hiding my stuff. I've just got too much stuff. Elvis guitar lessons. Aha! Excellent. All right, cool. So now some of these will be doubled because I will add them from multiple channels, but here you go. Elvis guitar lessons. All right, some of these are how to plays and some of these are cover lessons. But if you want to play some Elvis with me later on today, there you go. Let's see. Helps play Elvis to do a Chucky or a 12. Oh yeah, absolutely. And man, I love Elvis. Let's see. Well, I can't search easy version. Come on, everybody tutorial. Oh, come on, everybody. I don't know if I have that up. Let me write that down. All right, we got requests here too, and I do try and write all the requests down in the request list. Come back. Sitting here dropping. I dropped my notebook, but here we go. Dun, 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 dun. So come on, everybody. Do I have a chart for that? I have more charts than I can remember for stuff, and I'm so far behind on my stuff right now. But I don't know. That's a good question. My pins, and like I said, Pinterest search engine's awful, but that kind of helps me out. Sometimes I have to go to my YouTube video to find the chart link from the description to find it on Pinterest. That's how bad it is. You go to Pinterest and try and search for it and you can't find it, but YouTube knows where it is. What? So crazy. All right, and then yeah, it doesn't look like I have that one, but I will. Yeah, I don't see it here. Okay, cool. So anyway, I wrote it down, so I won't forget. And then hello, Mrs. Munson. Oh, right? Kira's beautiful. Oh yeah, I got lucky. I'm a lucky guy. Tammy Thomas, hi, beautiful. Oh gosh, your point of having 4 fingers is valid, especially having a right-handed guitar flute. Oh yeah, absolutely. See, warm, hello, beautiful one. Oh, well, thank y'all for saying hey to my wife. And then please give lessons on Earthless Songs. Earthless Songs. Ooh, who is Earthless Songs? I'm just going over here. Earthless Songs. Is that a band? Earthless? Oh, it is. Okay, cool. Well, Volt Rush. I will write that down. Earthless. And then I would be like, do you have a favorite Earthless song? But that's cool. Go this way. Who was asking for that? Ryan was asking for that. Earthless songs. Cool. I wrote it down, man. I'll try and check that out. And then, oh gosh, let's see. We got Gerard Vandermeer. Oh my gosh, man. We have talked before. I know we have. Hey, Gerard. Muted strings with the palm of your hand. How do you do it? And we were kind of talking about this earlier. So there's this thing. It's called palm muting. Very confusing term. I always think this is the palm because this is what the fortune tellers go. You've got a long right, then you will die. And so that's the palm, right? You don't actually do palm muting with the palm. You actually do it with the side of the hand. And we were talking about this with ukulele chucking, but you would normally take your right hand and you kind of lay it down on top of the saddle to get this kind of muting. And this is called right hand muting. I like calling it right hand muting. It's also normally called palm muting. Right? This kind of thing. So like a lot of early police, I always think of like, message in a bottle or every breath you take, you have that kind of muted sound. So it's trying to find like a good spot. If you go too far here, you'll kill the strings. If you go too far over, you'll open it up. Just a sliver of that side of the hand on top of the saddle, like right where the white line is the saddle. That's where you want to go normally to get like a pretty good mute sound. Now, if it's a left hand muting thing, like the end of Stairway to Heaven, then you got more options, So like, and I'm taking this as a bar thing, where you go, ga, 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 take a left hand, or that bar thing, A minor chord. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? 5th fret bar, 3rd finger on the A7, pinky on the D7 is the A minor chord. And at the very end of Stairway to Heaven, there's this thing where I would take the A minor and go down, down, and then there's a down, up, but if you lift the hand up a little bit to get that sound we're normally trying to avoid, I would call that left hand muting, right? Because the question was about muting in general. So there's right hand muting, where you're, back this way, and that's that Chuck question we were talking about ukulele sort of to you. And then, but this is more like I can kill it with the left hand. You can even kill the bar. You can lift it up to kill it, or you can literally flatten your hand out to kill it. So it's kind of an end of Stairway, where it's like down, down, mute, 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 down, down, mute, 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 down. Oh gosh, this is a weird one. Down, mute, up, mute, mute, down, mute, up, mute, mute, down, up, down. That was crazy. All right, I have a how to play. Hold on. It's a really long one too. Like if you're interested in work on. But anyway, hopefully that answers that question about the muting. I feel like I answered another question after your question that seemed related. But A Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin, Munson, How to Play. I remember when I did the cover for this, like it kept on thinking it was the real audio. And so like I had to slow it down to confuse the robot so it would let me post this song randomly. So this is, I'm not sure what the tempo is on my cover lesson. I'll put Stairway cover because I feel like it's weird. Like you may have to like adjust it somehow. But then that's the cover lesson. But then kerblams, this is where I actually walk through like all the how to plays. So Stairway, how to play for guitar. All right, cool. So I'm sure there's some good info in there too. I feel like normally people will catch the cover lessons and then sometimes I forget also that, oh yeah, there's this like 30-minute saga where I walk you through everything, assuming you only know open strings kind of thing. Let's see where we're at now. We got oh gosh, I feel like I jumped ahead there. All right, let me go back. Oh, there's some good requests here. I need to write these down. Let me make sure I didn't skip anything. All right, I was on Heartbreak Hotel, Elvis, Come On Everybody, right? Ryan was asking about Earthless. I wrote that down. All right, Gerard, muted strings. We were just talking about that palm of the hand. How do you do it right? Because you don't actually use the palm of your hand. You use the side of your hand, Gerard. And that's a misnomer. I don't know what's up with that. Let's call it palm muting so nobody will know what we're doing. Sounds like an old blues thing. But good morning. Oh, gosh, Greene County Agroforestry. Whoa, man. Hey. Good morning. You helped me tremendously developing the ability to just relax and play natural. Absolutely, man. I feel like that's really where it's at. The more you play with other people, the more you kind of relax to it, then you kind of get to a point where you can, you're more confident playing in front of people, like open jam kind of stuff is good. Open mics are good. I feel like all this goes together, confident. It's all about confidence and just having fun with your friends, and sometimes you can be your only friend and just play by yourself. But my videos are always here for you to play with too. But then Daeyoon, using the side of your hand helps. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, Daeyoon. That's exactly where it's at for right hand music. And then Love John Mayer, Gravity. Oh, right on. See, hey, I feel like Gravity's a tricky one though, isn't it? I just had it up. Like, what's the tricky part of Gravity? Isn't there like some weird chord change? Yeah, E flat. There's E flats in there. But we were talking about easier E flats. It's like that D shape on 3rd and 4th fret. Like you could use that move shape around thing we were talking about to help with that too. And then the B flat, I feel like there's an easy B flat. Is that 1 3 3, moving the little box shape around. So, but yeah, Gravity is working against me. Right. So, but yeah, the chart. I just put a link to the chart. But yeah, I will put that on the request list also. Actually, if I was going to do a John Mayer, I guess that would be a good one. I know he's got a bunch of good songs though, and that whole first album is just killer. But let's see, Addie, what music school did I go to? I went to the University of South Carolina. I went to USC, where we say "Go Cox," not the other University of Southern California. That's the other USC where you say "Go Trojans." Now, go figure that. But I actually at one point in my life wanted to go to the University of Southern California. They have a really cool film scoring school, and at one point I was writing a lot of music for my friend Rick for the Arts Commission here and doing like more composition stuff that way. Instead I was teaching guitar lessons, and my friend wanted to sell a music store, so I'm still here 20 years later going, hey, this is cool. And oh man, it's really rewarding what I do. I love what I do. So, but yeah, I went to the University of Southern California. I have a Bachelor of Music and Music Education, a performance certificate in classical guitar, and I spent 1 year on my degree in composition, but did not graduate with a master's in composition. And then I took guitar lessons from a good friend of mine, Robert Newton, for about 7 years, and jazz guitar stuff and pop stuff, and we would work on whatever I'd walk in the door with, which was very fun. I feel like I learned more about composition from Robert Newton than I did from anybody at the college level. But it might have something more to do with where I was at than who I was dealing with. But you never know. Yeah, sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time, and I'm glad I got to share a lot of time with Robert Newton. So Greene County Agro. Oh yeah, Sufficiently Breathless. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna write that down, man. Cool. All right, so Sufficiently Breathless. Let me write that down because that's more requests. Cool, we got some requests. I got to write them down from Captain Beyond. Awesome, cool. And everybody needs to go listen to that too. And then Guitar Man by Bread. I know I've got a Bread song up. My wife is a really big Bread fan, so oh gosh, if she knows that one, I'll probably have to do it. There's nothing wrong with that. And then Stuart Court, thanks from UK for some cool songs made easy. Thanks, man. Thanks for watching. I'm glad we can play them and jam them out. Tom, makes sense. Gotcha. All right, cool. So that made sense to Tom. Awesome. Thanks, man. Thanks for watching. Sorry, I misunderstood which strings you were talking about. And then Sporty, that was B major was a great tip. Oh yeah, I thought that was cool too. Yeah, Renee was like, B major that way. That's cool. You just don't hit that G string. Ooh, and this gets weird. So like with a chord like that, and I don't know why I want to go off on this tangent for a second, but it just depends on what combination of notes you're playing. So now I'm like looking at it, wondering like, what on earth would happen if you just played that as a whole chord? This. Okay, here's some theory for you. All right, so I'm taking the B major we were just looking at for Tom and going, now what's the G in relative to the B? And the G relative to the B would be a flat 6 of the scale, and the B note would be another B, so that's just another root. But then the E note would be, oh my gosh, it would be a 4. So I'd probably call that an 11, right? Is that right? No. Yeah, B to E, yeah. Oh gosh, it is a 4. Yeah, I'm sorry. Whoa, that's crazy. All right, so this is weird because like sometimes you're gonna just find chords. People go over the top. I'm all about simplifying chords. If I can just go, I can play B major, I'll do it. If I can play C major, I'll do it. Like C major. Give me majors and minors, and then I feel like if you're at an advanced enough level, you can just add in the other stuff that you want to if you know what you're doing. So people get really weird about it, and sometimes people will take melody notes and add it in. Anyway, people can make this stuff a lot more complex than it needs to be. So randomly, this is what I would be looking at if I was going to play all the notes all together. This is going to be a jazzy chorus for today. All right, so here's Tom's chord, right? Fifth, B, right, is the root. Third, that's a B major chord right here. But then that open G string becomes a flat 6 relative to that. Now, normally, if you're talking about a scale, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, we talk about it with scale degree numbers. Like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do turns into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. When you're talking about chords, though, you normally stack them up root, 3, 5, right, 7, woo, and then 9, and then 11, and 13. But a 13 is a 6, an 11 is a 4, and a 9 is a 2 of the scale. So this is kind of weird. This is like, if you're building, you know, chords, you go root 3, 5, then you might add a 7, then you might add a 9, and 11 and 13. But a 13 is a 6. So sometimes you'll see something that says 13 in a chord, but it like an add 6 could be the same thing. Or you'll see something that says an 11, which a 4 could be the same thing. Or you'll see a 9, and that could be a 2. So like this is where it gets weird, because like you'll see a chord and people go, "You're playing the wrong chord," and I'm like, I'm just calling it something different. So but if I was gonna name this chord, oh gosh, I would call it what? B. Let's call it B with a. All right, so the flat 6 would be a flat 13. But see, that's confusing to see it with the flat 13, because you don't want people to misunderstand it and think it's a B flat chord. So maybe B major, right? There's no 7 though. So what if oh gosh, I don't know what to call it. B add 4, add flat 6. I don't know, or like B major with a flat 13. Anyway, I went off on a tangent there, but anyway, so weird. All right, but yeah, I thought that was a cool B major too, Renee. My bad. That's what I should have said and just moved on. And then Joseph Galasso. Wow, hello from California. Been following you for years. Thank you for all your play-alongs and the Price is Right. Oh yeah, man, absolutely, because it's all free. Like literally, if you want to give me money, that's cool. People send checks in the mail. Sometimes people, you know, do the Patreon thing. And thank you if you're one of my Patreons. If you're part of the Munson Brigade. You know, thanks. That really helped us out, actually, especially in that helped us out do a lot of things, actually, with the shop, too. And then Renee says, "Friend of the Devil" by the Grateful Dead. Awesome. Oh, my gosh. I don't know if that's a really good beginner song. Like, it's like, I'm not that, I love that song. Don't get me wrong. All right, and I've got a ton of Grateful Dead up. Let me take a look and see if do I have a chart for Friend of the Devil? Because I don't think I've posted that. Have I posted that one yet? I forget what I've done. Friend of the Devil. All right, Munson. Because that's a great tune. I think it's you know, it's just all the walking basses. So I don't really think of that as a beginner's tune. You know what I mean? I'm really gonna take my time. Friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight. Just might get some heat tonight. Got the right for chill, one and check. You know what I mean? It's just they're going by really fast. So you could go, oh, that's a G chord. That implies a D/F sharp. That's a E. That's a C/E. This is like the D. You know, it's like like how many chord changes do you want? But yeah, I don't have that as a cover lesson yet. I'm gonna write that down though. I love that song, and I'm sure there's. I think it's because you can simplify that, right? Right. It's like there's a whole bunch of crazy bass stuff going on, but you could go, I'm just gonna play G. That's like a good example. Oh gosh, what have I got? Ripples up. I know. Oh, I love that one. I got charts for Scarlet Begonias. I got Uncle John's Band's up. I know. Truckin's up. Touch of Grey, I've got a chart for. Sugar Magnolia. Looking for Friend of the Devil. I don't know if I see it. Oh gosh, maybe I don't. And see that Friend of the Devil. See, Pinterest is just so weird. Like if you search for an individual song, it's really hard. Like if you search for an artist, you're better off searching for an artist on Pinterest. But yeah, let me write that down. Friend of the Devil could be a really easy beginner tune if I write that out right. You're absolutely right. So yeah. Let me put that on the list. Cool. Absolutely. No, that's awesome. That's a really good request, Renee. I'm gonna write that down on the book. And then oh, thank you, Elvis. All right. Oh, Eva Destruction. Oh man, right on. Eva Destruction's a great tune. Both versions, capo and others. Oh yeah. Man, thanks, Joseph. I sure am trying, man. Let's see. Ryan says thanks. Okay, cool. And then all their songs are good. Okay, it's cool. So I'll try and check out. Gosh, The Earthless. Cool. And then Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. Oh, I'd have a chart for that, Renee. That's a good one. BJ Thomas. My pins. I got Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. Let me send you a chart. It looks like it's a capo. Well, I have a capo 5 chart. I go raindrops keep falling on my head, and that gets weird because then that means it's really in the key of F, which is not necessarily beginner friendly. But that capo 5 looks good, and actually I'm sure like I could take it up a whole step and do it in G too. But I don't know if I have a chart for that way. Maybe. I don't see one though. But yeah, cool. Maybe that'll help just to like have, you know, a good way to do it. Oh, Wreck of Edmund. See, I've been thinking about that ever since Gordon passed away. Yeah. I do have a chart for the Edmund Fitzgerald. And that's a long song and it's a capo song, so I've been putting it off, but I feel like, yeah, I feel you on that. Gerald. I do have a lot of Gordon. I've been getting a lot of stuff, like the comments on those, so I know you guys are missing Gordon Lightfoot too. So Edmund Fitzgerald, my pins. That's it right there. Here's the chart that's capo 3, and it's sloppy. I'm gonna do a recopy if I do this, or when I do this too. Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Woo. All right, cool. So there's the chart. Just if you wanted a chart for that one, and I'm sure everybody needs a chart for that one. But I know that's a sloppy chart. I feel like I have another chart that's a little bit cleaner on that. But that's the one I could find on Pinterest really fast. So Guitar Man Bread, okay, got all that. Grateful Dead, Friend of the Devil's a great request. Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head's a really good request too. Let me write that down too for the request list. Raindrops keep falling on my head. You guys got some good ones. I need to lock myself in a closet and just shoot videos. But let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see. Oh gosh. Oh, Dark Star lesson. Oh gosh. I feel like it jumped me ahead. Dark Star. Oh, Wildwood Flower I think is up. Wildwood Flower should be. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, Joseph was saying he likes that version. Okay, cool. Me too. Dark Star. Ooh. Just got back from the Bluegrass Festival with my dad this past weekend, man. Heck yeah. All right, so let me go back. Edwin Fitzgerald, Sundown is up. All right, so, and I've got a bunch of Gordon Lightfoot. Gordon Lightfoot Munson. What comes up if I search for that on YouTube? I've got Sundown, If You Could Read My Mind, Beautiful, and then that may be what I've got right now, but I feel like I've got some other ones too. Sundown, right? Is that the one we were just asking about? Yes. All right, cool. All right, so here's Sundown. All right, and he does it a different way. That's another one that's like, he like capos to make it hard, and then he plays. I'm gonna capo to play bar chords. Like I feel like that song originally was like that, but yeah, I like the version I've got up. And if you love the song, that'd be a good one to go to. Let's see what else we got over here with requests. Eva Destruction, BJ Thomas got that. Reach up the neck to strike the strings. You will wind up muting with your forearm too. Oh yeah. That's a good comment there. Green Country Agroforestry. If you reach up the neck to strike the strings. Yeah. I know what you mean, man. Sometimes it's about how looking cool, and not necessarily what you're actually doing. You know, like look at your hand like you don't know what it's doing and stuff. Oh yeah, muted with the left hand on Last Kiss. I may have done some of the Joseph might be right on Last Kiss. Where can my baby be? I probably did that Chuck thing on that one too. Down, mute, up, mute, up. Right, it's kind of the Chuck thing we talked about that way back, almost 2 hours ago now. But that kind of thing can be really cool and that's a good like variation just to play around with. Oh my gosh, Tammy laughed out loud and now I don't know why. But I'm glad we were laughing together. See, and then Renee says, this has been most highly enjoyable. Look forward to upcoming. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'm going to try this first Sunday in June, if randomly for another Q&A too, if you're digging this and want to do that. Edmund Fitzgerald, I got that on the list. Definitely thinking about that as soon as I get time. And then Sundown definitely is already up. Things have changed. All right, oh, that one's up. Stuart, or maybe he's commenting that he likes that one, but the times they are a-changing, I think is what you mean. Times are changing. Months. I love some Dylan, y'all. Dylan's good stuff. I need to lock myself in a closet. I love this version of this, too, actually. When we do it at the shop for the jam occasionally, I'll bust out the G harp and be like, yeah, times they are a-changing. All right, just in case you were asking for a request, I know that one's already up. And people do ask for requests that are already up because there's just too much to look at, right? So start a playlist for yourself of the ones that you really like so you can find them, because occasionally YouTube really will hide them and you'll be like, I know I played this with Munson the other day and now it's gone. Although there was a mass exodus this week of Eagles stuff, I got a copyright strike. Everybody could be like, what? What on earth is that? I have 10,000 videos up, and for some reason Don Henley didn't like my cover of Tequila Sunrise, so I took every Eagles song that I had up and took it down, and it will be down until the strike is cleared 90 days from now. And if you want to blame anybody, it's not me. You can write your complaints to Don Henley and tell him that his fans would really like it if they could play his music without repercussions on YouTube. Awesome. All right, so that was that was me being weird. But all right, can I do Tiny Desk right before I finish the live stream? Oh, like can I play a song at the end? I think is what Dayun's saying. Play some cool songs. Okay, I'll play a song to end it. Yeah, I like that. That's a good suggestion, Dayun. I should play a cool song to end today. We'll do that. Oh gosh, now I got to think about what song I'm gonna do, and we do have to end like in another 10 minutes or so. But because I got other places to go, other places to do, people to see. Wait, did I say that right order? So what's that one they say in Willy Wonka, where Gene Wilder? I love the old Willy Wonka. I like Johnny Depp okay too, but Gene Wilder is like the man, and he's like, so little to do. And so, what is it? Oh gosh, what does he say? So little to do, and so it's like. And then he says, "Stop, reverse it." No, anyway, never mind. I need to keep on answering questions. Do you like dance, Gavin, dance? I don't know. I'll write it down and try and check it out. Dance, Gavin, dance. I do play Just Dance on the Xbox with my 7-year-old. Like that's fun. That's good exercise too. If you want something to exercise with, that's fun. So. These are great lessons. Is there anywhere we can donate to your music? Absolutely, there are places to donate to the music. In the description for this video, it gives you the, oh gosh, I guess my email that you could go to Cash App to send me money if you want to donate and join the Patreon. I guess should I put the Patreon link up? Maybe I should do that. Patreon, where are you, Patreon? You're somewhere. Oh, no, that's my wife's page. Where's my Patreon? I guess it's all going to the same place either way. But Munson, oh gosh, how do I find my Patreon? I'm doing this through, wait, that should be mine. Oh, sorry, I don't know how to log, do I have to log out? I would have, oh, it's here somewhere, hold on. It's in the description for like most of the videos. How do I find it? Oh, and then that one's an old one, that one doesn't have it. Oh gosh, hold on. This is silly, but yes, you're welcome to send me money any way you can find a way to send money. And when you do, I put your name on every single video I put up, like ever, which is awesome. So that's always cool. So, oh gosh, I mean, I really appreciate that, actually, big time. So we go over here, we go videos, All right, Wellerman. Oh yeah, and I've got to post the rest of the Wellerman. And it says tips, Oh, there's my Patreon link. Okay, cool. It's patreon.com/Munson Music. Live. Okay, cool. Yeah, some things say Munson Music, some things. All right, cool. For Patreon, yeah, I should go. Hey, there's my Patreon link. But I also do Cash App and Munson Music. I think it's the $ Munson Music. But thank you if you send me money. I appreciate it. Everything I have is up for free. So I really do appreciate it when people are like, hey, I really like what you do, and then sending some money on. And I think that's cool. It's like a community that we're living in, playing music together, which is awesome. Thank y'all for watching. When you watch videos and they give me money for ads, so that's cool too. That helps big time. And then what else have we got here? The Eagles record labels are jerks. Yeah, I would agree. It's too many people with too much money and too many lawyers. And actually, the weird thing there, the ones that are left up, are Please Come Home for Christmas, which is a cover that was written by Charlie Brown back in the day, right? So that says Eagles, but it's not an Eagles song. Seven Bridges Road, they didn't write that, so that one's still up too. And then Take It Easy. Those are the 3 Eagles songs I should have up. Everything else I pulled down. And Don Felder's the man. I love Don Felder, but those guys didn't treat him right. So anyway, he wrote Hotel California, but they mute videos all the time for Hotel California. I feel it's just too many people with too much money, and anyway. Enough about the Eagles. Wasted enough time with the Eagles already, but unfortunately, I still like that music. But anyway, Bob Dylan's always current. Oh yeah, it is, man. Woody Guthrie also is very current, unfortunately too. I love Woody too. But it's good to be alive. Has loads of boom chucks. Oh gosh, let me write that one down too, Renee. 'Tis good to be alive. Yeah, I sometimes I'll just end up doing chuck kind of stuff just on the fly, man. It just feels right, you know. Sometimes, but anyway, can't play hotel on YouTube, California on YouTube. Yeah, man, it's so weird. Like Green Country, like I had a video on Munson covers at one time. The video with the most views was Hotel California. It had 1.5 million views, and then one day all of a sudden they were like, "This has been blocked worldwide." And that happened. Then it got pulled for like 4 years. I just kind of like left it there, and then eventually they released it. Then it was back up, but then it wasn't current, and it wasn't the most popular lesson video anymore. And so like I think 2 people find it. So I don't know. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I'm never gonna cover Eagles. So don't ask me to do Eagles, people. But anyway. He asked the Eagles to do Eagles, and you actually it's a really cool. You can find Don Felder teaching Hotel California, and it's a funny lesson. That's one of those lessons I did watch a little bit because I've seen Don Felder play, and he's like, "All right, originally this was in the key of E minor, and Don Henley couldn't sing it in the key of E minor, and so we capoed it up until we found a place where Don Henley could sing it, and it ended up being capo 7, which put it in the key of B minor. But for myself, I like to do it in A minor, so I'm going to teach it to you in A minor." And it's just like this funny intro about just keys in general, and you're like, so you're going to teach it to me in the wrong key, even though, and what's the right key? Is it E minor or B minor or A minor? What is the right key now? I don't know. It's kind of funny. Like, I don't know. You should go check it out. It's kind of cool. If you want to play Hotel California, go have Don Felder teach it to you. But next Easter, how about Jesus Christ Superstar? Oh, that's great. Oh my gosh. Jesus Christ Superstar would be awesome. Superstar. Oh my gosh. Oh man, that sounds like a great request. Like, let me write that down. Like it did Heart Rock. And I don't know about the whole thing, Renee. I mean, come on. I mean, that took me years to do all of Rocky Horror and get it up. But and Sgt. Pepper too, actually. Man, I really am looking forward to like when I can go like, hey, here's all the Beatles. You can play along with me except for Revolution Number 9 or whatever, you know. But we'll be sending. Oh well, thank you, Tammy. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the support, everybody. Actually, who's still watching at this point. Thank you for sticking around. I love your longevity and sheer variety. Thanks for everything, Munson. I'm so sorry I can't say. Oh, if you can't send money, don't send money. Everything's up for free. You're not missing out on anything. If you can't send money, send money. And then you know, and I'll put it to a good use. I'll buy granola bars for the little kids to bribe them to play on my stage. Let's see. Good to hear, man. Let's see. I'll watch them. Oh gosh. Love your covers. I did not. Oh wow. Let's see. Oh yeah. No, it's cool when I post a video and people are like, "Oh, I haven't heard that song before. That's a good song." I love that. I Can't Help Falling in Love too. That's a great song. Joseph, what's the request response? Oh yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, I'm writing them down. The request list is long, and I can't make promises on requests, unfortunately. But oh man, I love that Gypsy Kings version of Hotel California too, Green Country. And some people react to the Eagles song stopping their channels because of getting a copyright strike, threatening to drop their channel from YouTube. Yeah, right? I mean, really, I put 10 years of work into my YouTube channels, and suddenly Don Henley doesn't like Tequila Sunrise, and you're like, really? I'm only 66% away from losing all of my channels because this one guy doesn't like, you know, me covering his song to help. And it was a Mandolin cover. They left up all the other ones. It was this random Mandolin letter, you know, and YouTube's like, no, we got a legal, you know, cease and desist, you know, we had to pull this down. It's bizarre, all that stuff. But I love John Prine too. I love Bob Dylan too. I love Bob Marley too. I love Old Crow Medicine Show too. I love Green Day the best too. Well, Green Day's good. Yeah. I don't know about the best. But, well, yeah. Okay, I'm down with that. Dave's like, yeah, I love everything. And then learn Sweet Dreams from, oh yeah, right on, cool. Feel like a good player, headphones on. Oh yeah. See, Sweet Dreams would be a good one, but I feel like Annie Lennox is also a little weird with copyright. I think I've got like one thing up that's Annie Lennox, but I forget what the copyright. You know, normally you cover a song, you stick it up. YouTube goes, that's that song you're covering, and you go, yeah, I'm covering this song, and they go, cool. We're gonna do a revenue split, and then they take half the money that they make from the ads or whatever, and they split it between you and the artist. So it's like YouTube makes half, I guess, and then you make half of. You know, the artist makes half for nothing, you know, because you just use I say nothing. They make half because they wrote the song that you're covering, but they didn't actually have to, like, make the video. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm sitting at home, some guy covered my song, now I'm making money from a video I didn't create. Awesome. You know, that's where to be, right? So, oh my gosh, we got stuff and more stuff. But Sweet Dreams is a good one. I'm going to write that on the request list, too. I'm looking at time, people, and I guess I need to split. And then Dayoon requested that I play a song at the end. So, oh gosh. What's a good song? Oh well, I'll play out my favorite song for the jam, from the jam. I always like do it Stand By Me, because that's always fun, right? And I do it in the key of G, even though Benny King does it in A. And what's the other one? Oh, I teach this song all over the place. Y'all know this song. Actually, grab your instrument. We'll play along with me. All right, we're gonna be in the key of G. Are you ready, Dayoon? This is for you, man. When the night has come and the land is dark, and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. All right, now y'all can sing along, right? If the sky we look upon, ooh, should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea. Oh, thank y'all. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just long as you stand by me. Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. Oh, man, thank y'all for listening and hanging out and asking questions and doing all cool stuff. And I think I'm gonna try this again, like first Sunday in June. I think I've got a 9-ish. So I'll make an event, and then obviously you'll just have to find whatever link works. But I saw a bunch of cool stuff, man, about Bob Wills and Patsy Cline, and oh yeah, man, I got a bunch of Patsy Cline charts up too. Faded Love. Oh, man, yeah. See, there's a bunch of good tunes in the world, man. You guys are bringing up a lot of them. That's awesome. Oh, my gosh. You guys rock. So, hey, I love all of y'all. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. And thanks for all the donations and time and suggestions and questions, like, to keep this going. I was like, I don't know what I'm talking about today. And y'all asked a bunch of really good questions. And somehow we filled up 2 hours full of stuff. So hopefully this was really, really useful to everybody. Oh, Little Walter, that's me. I'm Little Walter. I could be Little Walter. That's cool. Right on. But oh man, violin. Oh man, right on. I was at Merlefest with my dad and my little girl last weekend, and we saw 3 fiddle players from Del McCurry's band, and there was another band called the Po Boys or something. Anyway, we saw these 3 beautiful violins play Blue Moon in Kentucky. It was the most amazing thing. In Green Country, you would have just like loved it, man. I always wanted to be a rock star, man. We always want to. All of y'all are rock stars. Make it happen. It's never too late. Cool, and it's fun, and we can do it from here. Even, I mean, at this point, you know. So it's kind of cool to like talk to the whole world, like right here from my laundry room. So, Oh, right on. Oh, man. Heck yeah. Hey, Joe. Man, hey, there's a South Carolina connection to that song, too. But hey, y'all, I got a split. I love all of y'all. Take care. And I will see you hopefully first Sunday in June at 9 a.m. for more Q&A. And if you didn't see the whole thing, you can replay it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. We will work it out. Make a banana. I'm going to do it. Bye now. Love y'all. Bye. Woo-hoo.